going on, Byron?
Hello, Eric. How are you, my friend? Apart from having chatted to you for the last 10 to 20 minutes,
Oh, I
probably
think it
half
was
an hour.
30 minutes. Yeah.
It was half an hour. So, who is to blame for the late start?
This guy. I'm sorry. It was my fault. I was in a fight with my Power BI and Chat GPT trying to figure everything out, and it didn't work out. I wasn't able to update it in time, and by the time I looked at the time, I was like, "Oh shoot, I need to go live soon with Byron," and I haven't updated anything for the Valspar. So, thankfully, Byron was like, "Hey man, it's all right. It's all good. It's all good. You do
It's all
you.
right.
We'll start when we start." And yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. And Eric was speaking to me. I should have been the one speaking the whole time and letting Eric do the work that he needed to do. But instead, you were just telling me everything and doing your stuff. So that was a fun time. But what was not a fun time was being Brand Snedeker or Sanjay Im today.
Oh, true.
That was some epic meltdown stuff today, man. How much of it did you watch?
I got to see most of it at the end. I didn't see anything in the beginning.
Okay.
So when Sungjae went to +4 early on, I have no idea how or why he was at +4. And then he just kind of stayed right there all the way to the end and got a birdie on 16 or whatever. Yeah, it hurt my bankroll quite a bit that Sungjae did not win.
Tell us why. Do you have your
Yeah, sure. You can share my screen.
Start with you.
Yeah, share my screen. I had to update my I had to restart my browser, so I lost how I normally show this. But this lineup right here, Byron, I do this several different ways. I haven't really shared this technique that I also do, but like I put the same lineup in for all the qualifiers because in a way, if you think about it, so there's like I'm in 45 of these qualifiers, just throwing that out there. 45 of these, and it was this lineup right here. So I didn't get any help from Rasmus or Billy Horschel, but my guy Sungjae
3%.
was winning this event, giving me 20 more points than this, or whatever it was.
Because
and
made
for
the bogeys to go backwards.
For most of these, look at this. Just look. So I got 2 tickets out of it. That was wonderful. Second, third, fourth. You know, like
Dude,
I'm like
so close.
Right. So the beginning of the week, I kid you, and this sucks, man. I don't know who else. Have you experienced this before? And anybody else in chat, have you guys experienced this before, where you are winning Thursday, Friday, Saturday, exorbitant amount of money? Like exorbitant, it's relative, right?
Couple $1,000 or whatever, yeah.
Right. It was $400 that I was winning. I only put $50 in, so I think I could show. I can't even show that, but I put $55 in, and this was like $4.50 of my, the amount of money I put in. But yeah, I was up 10x. Obviously, because it's. Duh. But I put $55 in, like I said, and it was up a bunch. Have you ever had a moment where you're up a ton and then Sunday comes around and one of your golfers just like lays a big old goose egg or plays like himself out of contention, and then the next most popular, because Matt Fitzpatrick winning was the other issue here with all of these lineups that I have. I got beat by Matt Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Because like Xander was my guy. And I can't wait to recap what we learned last week about, I called it my elite grouping of golfers. If you watched me Tuesday and Wednesday night when I was streaming my strategy on my channel, Xander was a part of it. So too was Bridgman. And like these guys got really close. But either way, what I'm trying to say is Fitzpatrick was very highly owned in a lot of these. Like, yeah. This guy with the missed cut, I beat him by 0.5 points.
Jesus.
Because Fitzpatrick scored, 113 points. My highest guy was Sungjae with 99.
Yeah. Yeah.
So going back to our conversation, you know, with Sung Jae losing and, you know, all that stuff, these were my results. If Sung Jae won, I'm winning, I think right before he lost, well, before Fitzpatrick actually got the lead, like before he got to 10 under, I was still winning $190. Just throwing that out there.
Oh my God, dude.
And then Fitzpatrick comes through on the finish line, and I literally went down to 20 at first. I think I ended up winning, I think it ended up being $32. So 55, I ended up winning 32. So I lost $20.
And like Sanjay letting you down was tough, you know, but it didn't seem surprising at all. You know, he was the top of that leaderboard, was just hanging on by a thread with the putters like all week.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Sundays, you know, like the binariness of it all comes through, and you're either making the putts or you're not, you know.
That's
and
right.
We saw that with Sneds today. We saw that with all of the guys, you know. But go back to that other guy. What did he have? That was a epic lineup without Thigala even. Smalley. So he just had Sungjae, Fitz inside the top 10. That's it. Crazy. But this is only what, a 10. How many people are in this contest?
Yeah, you would just, what's that say again?
How many people are in this contest?
118.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a dude that I was battling with for a while that just had an amazing lineup. Another winner take all. I could have gotten $100 here. I even had a missed cut, and I lost by 13 points.
Oh yeah, so close. I mean,
and look at Lipsky.
The 6 for 6s were tough.
If Lipsky actually won, I think I win this. If Lipsky wins that tournament. Yeah. So there was a bunch of heartbreak that I had, actually. Now I come to it.
You got onto some seriously good names.
Yeah.
You know, Sungjae and Lipsky, you don't even have to worry about ownership with how you're doing your stuff, because it's just force feeding people in there that, like, you know, just organically give you low ownership. So you don't even have to worry about playing chalk, because your 3 at the bottom there don't even eclipse 10%, you know. So that's
right. Yeah. And this is what the optimizer, the Sweet Spot DFS optimizer, you know, like I have exposure set really low for 6K golfers, because the whole moniker that I go with it is never fall in love with the 6K golfer, but also never disrespect one. So I tend to play more like just a wide range of 6K golfers if they match all the bucket criteria that comes with my optimizer. So it's not like I can force feed all 6Ks into my lineups, but I can put a lot of them in. Just depends on my lineup, you know, creation. Like, whatever golfers that I start with. And here's the thing: if you watched last week's video, we covered Bridgman and Xander pretty in depth. We also covered a bunch of other golfers that I had already mentioned here earlier that I call the elite grouping. So if you want to cover that at some point in time, I don't know if you want to do it now, but we can do it. Or do you want to cover what you did this week?
Like, yeah, I'll just do my disaster of a week again, and then we can move on.
Sounds good.
So I can get that behind me. Okay. This is like waiting outside the principal's office, you know. So here's Valspar. A lot of bets, but my average investment was only 0.3 units. And I hit 3 bets. 2 of them were dead heated. And the only bet you know what I was looking at, though? By the way, the week I lost 3.5 units this week. Not a big deal, but it's another losing week. But the thing is, the number of units that I can win if one of these bets comes through is 10. And it's for every single round. You know, like, I've got round 2 leaders. I've got round 4 leaders. I've got first round leaders. I hit the Pearson Coody first round leader top 5, but he was tied with 6 people. So he was T4 with 6 people. So that didn't return the full 2.2. It returned the 1.4. And then I hilarious. This kind of sums up my week. He has a W in the win or loss column, but I actually
lost money.
I need to change this to, it's not a 0.4, it's -4. So this actually takes it terribly. It's even worse. So now finding out I lost 4.3 units, not 3.5. But, you know, I lost 0.1 unit, 0.1, because I bet 25 and I returned, even though it won on the slip, I won 20.
Oh.
Like, he was dead. Because Fitzy went nuts and then just couldn't make a single putt and then just got stuck. If he just made one more putt, he would have been solo fifth, like,
damn.
how he could have. And I had him obviously for the leader as well at 20-1, basically, which I don't think he would have got to. But I think I'm betting, like, the thing is, you got to have a decent bankroll to kind of get through this, because if you're dropping a unit on a round leader every single time and not winning, it's tough. It feels brutal as you're losing money every single week. But if I just hit one of these guys, it's a 10-unit week, and then I'm basically in the clear for the week, So we come close a couple times, haven't quite got across the line. Shout out Jacob Bridgman. He finished top 20. That was my only top 20 bet outside of the Davis Riley ladder, which I only invested 0.8 units on Davis Riley. And that was over quickly. Yeah. There was no pondering what Davis Riley was going to get up to. He was just toast. So Austin Smotherman as well. I placed these bets before we found out about the whole, his wife could literally give birth any given day. This is the shit we have to deal with, dude, when we're betting, or playing DFS. And I took him out of all my DFS lineups, and he missed the cut. So that took care of 17% of the field.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I had too much Sahith Tagala in the other side of things. Or something like that. It was just, I only got one of my 10 lineups into a 6 for 6, and that only cashed kind of min cash type situation. So it was a bit of a frustrating week. It is what it is. So fuck it. Let's move on. That's where I am right now.
Right.
It was a tough day, but I'm rocking the pink hat because today we did the gender reveal.
Oh yeah.
Mini Maniac number 2. And it's going to be a Mini Maniac number 2 girl. So I'm a girl dad now, officially.
Oh, you've already been a girl dad, but you're double girl.
Yeah, but now two of them. I'm going to be looking for buy one, get one free shotgun specials. If you guys find any out there, might as well stock up now and take care of that. But I revealed it with a driver. We had a golf ball that was blue or pink, and you just mash it, and then the smoke, like the powder inside turns into the pink or the blue. And Caitlin, she's back here, so I can't speak too loud, but she suggested that I tee up straight at her parents because it's just the smoke. I know. What the casing is there too. And then afterwards, her dad said to me, "Thank God you aimed left, because I heard some stuff whizzing past us." Because I mashed driver, but we got it on video and it was a good time. So we'll put that out there at some point. But it was a fun day. It was always FaceTiming my parents who were back home, and it was a good time. So trying to find some perspective in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, might have to stop betting just to support this child if I keep losing 3-4 units every week. But we're gonna be okay. Yeah, we're gonna be okay.
Stay within your bankroll, Byron.
Exactly. No, that's the thing, is we can survive. I can continue betting like this for another 75 units. That's the whole point about bankroll management, is being. And the thing is, you can see how many units we're throwing at this thing. So you got to be able to recycle through a couple units when the bad stuff happens. So we're gonna be fine. It's going to be a good time. Let's dive into some analysis of last week. For those of you that are going to be looking at the screen, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe on both our channels. Go put up both the streams. If you're watching Back 9 Bets, go over to Sweet Spot DFS. Open that up, mute Darbo. If you're watching on Sweet Spot DFS, come over to Back 9 Bets, mute me. Just have both up there so we can both get the views. This is the point of doing a code stream type situation. And make sure that you are on settings for HD. You don't want to be looking at 360p with such small
Yeah.
font and things like that. This looks good if you got it in HD. It can look very blurry if you don't. So that is my 2 cents. As always, we're going to be going over some optimal lineups, some sweet spot lineups, winning lineups for GPPs, that kind of shit right now.
Yeah. Okay, so what I want to do first is go over that elite grouping that I had mentioned to you before. For those that are looking at the screen, we have blue colored golfers. They belong to the GPP winning lineup. The little black tick marks in here are golfers that belong to the optimal lineup. And the green salaries belong to the sweet spot optimal. Hold on, just wait.
Darbo's cousin's in the house. Hilariously, I'm busy getting a grocery order as well right now too. So we are dealing with multiple intruders into the stream.
That was so crazy.
Who's that? Your cousin?
He is my nephew.
Your nephew?
Yeah.
I keep calling him your cousin.
I know. It's all good.
But he was the reason we didn't go the full episode with a bad microphone. So shout out your nephew for clanging around the pots in the background.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's when I figured out. Yeah, that's right.
2 or 3 episodes ago. Anyway, back to your elite grouping on golf.
Yeah.
I'm also going to take this hat off.
Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem. Just been an unprofessional start, half an hour late, then you're muting us halfway through your stuff. I mean, good things happen in 3, so we'll expect something else coming soon.
So I just went over like what is, the sweet spot optimal, the GPP, the optimal, all that stuff. Now, what we did last week is we looked at the top course history guys, right? So it went down to 4675. And then also we did the top recent form guys, which is 4614. So if I go to less than or equal to 46.75 for course history, and then we go less than or equal to 45, this is where we get to our elite grouping. And it was only a few of these golfers. I'm going to go by salary. Let's sort by salary.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you went to my channel, or if I think we discussed this, where we wanted to find like maybe 2 or 3 of these golfers to play. Well, if you saw some of my lineups that I'd showed, we had a lot of Xander to go with Bridgman or Spieth or Thigala. Like, that's what I did a lot of my lineups, but I did a whole combination of these guys. So I did do some Xander and Hovland just in case. It wasn't a lot. It was a very limited amount of golfers.
Wow, that's a intense lineup.
It was, but it worked for a few.
Okay.
And then we did some Xander, Bridgman, and then I mixed in 3 of these guys. I really did not care about Taylor Moore or Kevin Streelman. Like, I wasn't really trying to add them. I wasn't anchoring around them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But the rest of these guys, I did. Now, if you got the right combination of these golfers, it was perfect. And what we kind of found out, if I go ahead and put some filters on some of these other ones, that still holds the filters that I had in during our stream.
Ooh,
last Sunday. So I can go through all the other elite groupings, and you can see how this has kind of panned out over the last few years. And you will see like 2 of these guys finishing inside the top 20, but there's usually one optimal lineup golfer that was showing up, in each of these. So that's kind of the whole theory and basis of me building lineups and going over this, us going over this was, can we find like a good core of golfers to choose from? And this kind of also just doubles down as why I like the bucket system so much, is we create rules. You want to play somewhere between 2 to 3 of these golfers. You don't want to play upwards of 4 or 5, because again, if we go through each of the years, like this whole grouping of golfers here starts at 9,400 as the cheapest and goes up to 10,800. So like you can't put more than 3 of these guys together anyways, but likely you only want to put 2 of these golfers together. So that was the whole basis of going over it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can go through each of these years. So this was 2025. This is 2024, 2023. I didn't put a filter on this, but this is 2022. Like there's only 2 golfers, Norin 12th and JT, finishing 3rd. So what we kind of found out through our stream and through my streams on Tuesdays and Wednesday, or on Tuesday and Wednesday, was okay, we're not going to play more than 3 because like I just, this is 2021. There's 3 guys that are in the green. You can see their finishing positions.
Yep.
In 2022, there were only 2. In 2023, there's 3, but they're expensive. They're expensive. Yep. 10-9, 10-6, 9-3. So really maybe just 2. 2024, 11-2, 8-9. Okay, there's only 2. And 2025, you could probably only play 2, despite there being 4. So that came down to the rules of, play 2 to 4. Now, Xander was in the optimal lineup, believe it or not. And I know there's going to be people out there like, yeah, he backdoored his way into that. That's golf, though. That's golf.
That is golf. That's also Xander. It's so Xander. Like that is so Xander.
So, yeah, he shot 6 under in round 4 and catapulted himself up to 4th place. But he was in the optimal lineup. He was also in the sweet spot optimal, but he was not in the GPP winning lineup. The GPP winning lineup had Jacob Bridgman in it. So we kind of have our 2 golfers right there. And if I took out the filters here and we tried to play a lineup with both, him and Bridgman, so 10-9, 9-6, all we got to do is beat a lineup that scores 532.5. And I'll get into the optimal, the GPP, and the sweet spot optimal here pretty soon. But if I score more than 532.5 by anchoring down Bridgman and Schauffele, probably can't put Fitzpatrick in that lineup, but I could probably put these guys here, and I have $8,600 to work with.
Bench.
So
but that would be 40.
That'd be leaving too much money on the table for me.
Mm-hmm.
But what I could do is take out Jordan L. Smith and maybe put an S.H. Kim. Oh, that leaves me with 93. So I could put Spieth. Whoa. Here's our 3 guys in the elite grouping. Let's see if this lineup will compete. I think it will, honestly. I'm just highlighting all these points to add it all up for us. Okay, so it only scores 5. It only scores 520. So it wasn't. Yeah, it wouldn't. It's just hard.
Mention Jaeger would be a solid. I think but Jaeger only scored 78. I don't know.
Yeah, I think. Well, first of all, we would need Lipsky.
Oh, yeah.
We need S.H. Kim. Maybe we can do something like this with Grillo. Oh, this is 50,000 on the button, by the way.
No.
I think this is going to do it. So we just need to score more than 532, 533. So it doesn't by a point. By a 0.5, actually, 532.5.
That's incredible.
So, yeah, we could put a Bridgman lineup together, but we could also put, I don't know, did Spieth score more than Bridgman? I didn't even see. He did. So maybe we do Spieth instead of Bridgman, right? Because, again, if I put this, Spieth was also another golfer that was a part of that elite grouping. So, yeah, 10 more points, instead of Bridgman, I go to Spieth. I also saved $300. So, yeah, it is a way to get to those lineups. It is a way to get to a lineup that can win you a GPP. I don't know, Byron, what is your take on this type of grouping? Like,
I love this. I love this idea because it narrows down the crap, right? Yeah. It helps you just because you got 133 guys to choose from.
Right.
If you don't, and my thing is like when you're staring at a player pool decision and you've got all of these guys at the top of the board like we had. I mean, Fitz was playing great, but so is Bridgman. So, I mean, Xander just top 5 at the players, like we had a lot of good names playing good golf. How do you make these decisions? Like how do you identify who's the guy you want to anchor at the top?
Yeah. Because
you can't anchor around all of them. Otherwise you're just balancing your belt, you're just playing a fair amount of them. And I think this is a fun way to do it. It's a simple, logical way, and we're going to be doing this again for the Houston Open.
Yeah, so we'll definitely try to find those types of what would you call them?
Elite groups, like elite groupings,
right? And trends, I guess. Would it be a trend? Sure. Yeah, that we're looking at.
Signals, identifiers.
Although some people hate trends when it comes to golf stats, but
yeah, but trends are fine if they make sense.
Yeah.
Like if you're going and saying, okay, the last 17 of 19 people have finished T43 the week
Just the
before,
exact
you know,
number
like
of 43,
or
or
whatever, you know, like
yeah,
let's just cut it off somewhere at like 45, like we do with ours. Boom.
yeah,
And if you don't fit that, you don't fit that. We're not like pushing the post down the road in order
yeah,
to like
right,
make the stuff work, you know, those kind of things. Like if you never played at the Century, you're not going to win the Sony.
yeah, yeah,
Why? Like that's like the best people are playing at the Century because they won tournaments. They were inside the top 30 in the FedEx Cup. Of course, they're going to be winning the Sony. They're the better golfers, you
right.
idiots. You know, like, so that kind of stuff bothers me.
Okay.
But this kind of stuff that we do is because we do it also doesn't bother me. No, I'm just joking. But
Yeah.
it makes sense. You know, we're trying to figure out, because I think course history and recent form, it's probably the two bigger buckets or grouping, like clumps. Yeah, buckets, whatever. I don't want to like hijack your stuff,
No,
but like
go.
buckets that we're going to put guys into, because some courses benefit form and some courses benefit history.
Yeah.
And some need a bit of both. So, you know, us going through this stuff and figuring it out is worth it, you know? So
I agree.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay. I do too. One thing I will say is it might be difficult because I think you do need Fitzpatrick. And this is one of those issues that I had when it came to building lineups. Is the optimizer did this a couple times where it selected a 10K golfer and then it selected two 9K golfers. I instantly kind of get turned off by that. And especially when we go over like historic lineup builds, which I don't have up and running. I thought I did, darn it. But I obviously go over historic lineup builds to see what type of lineup construction usually is successful at either a tournament or, you know, just in general. 10-9-9 doesn't really start mini lineups because you have to rely so much on cheap golfers, at least 2 6Ks or like a ton of low 7s or, you know, whatever. So personally for me, I just built a lineup for all of us to look at that included, you know, Xander and Bridgman, but also or Spieth, but also Matt Fitzpatrick. So we're going with the most expensive 10K golfer to go along with the most expensive 9K golfer. And then we're putting another 9K golfer in that lineup. It gets really difficult to build those types of lineups because what ends up happening is you kind of got to be perfect in picking Lipsky. You know, obviously I just highlighted Lipsky. So it is challenging in that respect. My optimizer loved Sungjae for obvious reasons. Like the optimizer doesn't know Sungjae has a wrist injury. You know, if you look at the whole last full year of data at $7,100, that's what I'm, you know, like I could see your eyes kind of going, your optimizer like Sungjae.
When you said that, for obvious reasons, is like, I'm like flipping through the pages in my head, like, what the fuck did he do? You know, like what reasons are these? So
for his price tag, it was for his price. He was a tremendous value for his price. And what I had to do was when I was building lineups, I kind of had to tell my optimizer to knock it off. I'm like, dude, I don't want that much Sungjae because that's bringing in a whole ton of risk that I'm not willing to take on. The joke with a lot of the people that come watch my stream on Tuesday night is like, sometimes the optimizer just knows better than me. And it doesn't even know golf. Just knows numbers. That's it.
Well, if you're looking at anyone that overreacts and fucking I'm swearing a lot because I'm very frustrated. But like looking at things, you find one thing to put you off a golfer.
Yeah.
You know, but now look, Sungjae missed back-to-back cuts coming in. He looked very bad. You know, so and at a golf course that needed good iron play, his irons have been bad. Shows up on round one and he just like demolishes the field.
This is where I'm going to plug the optimizer and the bucket system. This tournament is notorious for having golfers that succeed or golfers who have missed the cut the week prior coming into this event, succeeding at this event. And we could dig down and try to figure out why. But from a surface level, a zoomed out level, you know, the optimizer doesn't need to know why. You know, like this last week,
Right.
bucket 5, it refers to guys who missed the cut last week or withdrew or DQ'd. It's just basically who started a tournament and didn't get all 4 rounds in. That's what this bucket kind of represents. So it was large. I think actually the projection, it might have been 1 to 4, but it could have been 2 to 4, but I just didn't believe in it. So I always, if I have an issue with the bucket, I'll actually kind of, I will eye test it. And I mean, we did a really cool job Tuesday night. I went over each bucket and I said, are these projections actually smart? And I looked, and now this is where my subjectivity gets involved, you know, where it's like, you know, if I see a bunch of Sung Jays in a bucket, I'm like, no. Yeah. These projections aren't great. But what I end up doing with these bucket projections is, if it was a 2 to 4 projection, which is pretty tight, you know, it's saying you want at least 2, I'll just move the minimum down to 1. I won't do anything with the maximum. I'll allow it to pick up to 4.
Give yourself the upside, but limit yourself to like disaster, you know, like being overexposed.
But it removes that narrowness that I like about the bucket system, because it's limiting you. And I think that's what's, for me, I know it sounds kind of counteractive to some extent, but if you are limited in your options, to me, it frees you up to actually make better selections, make better decisions.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, again, I'll plug the bucket system for this main fact. What you said about Sung Jae's, like he came in with 2 missed cuts. Hey, man, that's a great sign for the bucket system as to why you should play Sung Jae. And for most people, when they look at it like a linear progression, they're like, well, if someone's coming in with bad form, you can never play them. But the thing is, if we were to actually look at every event every single year, you're going to find like half the golfers inside the top 10 come in with terrible form. They've done something stupid in the last, 3-4 weeks. And it's like that this is kind of the conversation you and I are getting into, where it's like, we can find reasons not to play golfers. Like, I don't like that guy's haircut. I don't want to play him because, he plays PXG. Like, we can come up with these really dumb reasons not to play golfers, or we think we're being smart with certain things and saying, hey, this guy's been losing on approach 4 of his last 6 events. I'm not playing him at this Valspar championship that seems to require good approach play. Like we do this to ourselves all the time. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to point that out.
The field in approach play in round 1. He gained 4 strokes on approach.
Yeah. But if you were to say, I forget how, there are certain people online that'll do this. If they take the name away and they show you stats, it's all cherry picked or whatever, but
yeah,
let's remove TPC or the Players Championship and Arnold Palmer Invitational, and we just look at this golfer's last year, or even we look at his career stats and tell you he's only 20 some years old, and like, this is what type of iron player he is, but he's been struggling a little bit. Yeah. Would you pick that player? Like, at $7,100, yeah, I'm going to take a bunch of flyers on him, because why not? My investment is low.
History, yeah. No, I love that. I think because I need to have a change in strategy. So I think I'm going to be adopting the bucket system going forward.
Love it.
I think I'm going to be doing the 150 cent entry
contest. Okay.
Yeah. I hate the payout in that, but it also helps you keep your bankroll afloat a bit better. You can min cash 50 of them, and you're not losing all your money every week and blah, blah, blah. And as weird as I get with some of my 6K guys, I think like massive tournaments like that, we're going to give it a try and see what happens.
I think
am I going to be pissed off when I finish second and make like $7,500 less than the guy that beat me by half a point? Probably, but that's
I'll just remind you
down the road.
I'll just remind you, what have you been doing the last 4 weeks?
What do you mean?
I'm saying next week, if you get second place and you get $1,500 instead of $3,000, I'm going to come back and go, okay, what was your investment for the week? And what were your investments for the previous 4 weeks, and how much did you net, in return. If you weren't successful the last 4 weeks and you come into this next contest and you get second place instead of first, are you really going to be that sour?
No, I know. I was being dramatic.
I know. I'm being dramatic too.
It's a good problem to have.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And, we'll see how it goes. So I've gone now moving from like 10 lineups every week, which I like. There was like a $5 entry contest and an $8 5 max for both that had like a nice 10% to the 10th place finish. 10% of first place prize money goes to 10th place, which I love as like a nice balanced payout. You can finish top 5 and still make some bank, whereas these big multi-entry type situations can be a little weird. So maybe I might investigate how to get a lot more entries out there at minimal salary, or like at $1 or 50 cents. But, I don't have the bankroll to do a $5, 150 max kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not there yet in my life. Got a second
Neither
child
am I.
on the way. And,
neither am I. I will say this, the reason I like doing that multi-entry stuff, especially, using the optimizer, is that you can still have your core of golfers, and then you can bring in those 6K golfers that you might want to play, but you don't necessarily want to bring in that risk, because if you're only building 10 lineups, I imagine if I were to do that, I'd be extremely invested in the golfers I choose. Like when it comes to picking them,
versus the process is
right. And I mean, I guess I probably would have picked Sungjae because he was just a cheap 7K golfer, but I can't imagine the 6K golfers I would have fallen in love with, like putting those in my lineups and then they be the only things that sink my lineups. Like I've done that in the past when I had a really, really small bankroll. Like I'm talking like $2, like bankroll. And it was just like, I can't, when I was doing those lineups, I'm like, this sucks. I'm limited because I think I was maxing out the dime time. So I was only doing 20 lineups, which was a lot, still it's quite a few.
Yeah.
But like, I'd like at that time, Blaine Barber or whatever, if you remember that name from way back in the day.
Cool.
I know, but that's the 6K range back in like 2017, 2018 when I was first starting to play. And it was like, I'd be invested in that guy because I saw something, and then that would tank my line. That one guy would tank my lineup, of course, with somebody else. But it was like, if I could have just diversified in my 6K range, the guy, because it was like the guy that ended up finishing inside the top 10 was one of 26K golfers that I liked, but he was probably 18th on the list. I was never going to get to him, but I did want to play him. And that's kind of how I developed my strategies of building lineups. Is like, I call it the shotgun approach at sometimes, you're just spraying the 6Ks into your lineups or whatever. But man, when it hits, it feels really good, and there are lineups like now I kind of also divest or not divest. I think maybe divest is the right word, where it's like, I don't really care anymore about my lineups because like, I have so many different combinations of lineups. I don't know which one's good until the smoke settles,
right. Yeah.
So and then when it does, it's like, ha, I was smart, but like I have 99 other lineups out of 100 that were just awful, but it was just that one that was good.
You just need one. That's all it takes.
Right. And a lot of my investment in my lineups comes after the cut, where I'm like, ooh, I've got, 14% of my lineups made, have 6 of 6 through the cut. So now I'm looking at everybody, that's where Sungjae now becomes a golfer that I'm really like, it's like, holy crap, I'm winning a ton of money because Sungjae's winning. All right. Well, now I'm a Sungjae fan this week, Whereas if I was just trying to focus on a small selection of players in the beginning, I'm invested the entire week. I'm invested in the lineup approach, which, by the way, for me, it almost paralyzes me when it comes to lineup building that way, where it's like, I got to get Sungjae in these lineups whenever I possibly can. So I will sit there and just go cross-eyed trying to put Sungjae in a lot of my lineups that I also want to play both, you know, like Matt Fitzpatrick and Jordan Spieth. But especially with my process, it's like those golfers don't make lineups. It breaks my optimizer. And it's like, but it shouldn't. Like, I want these guys in my lineups.
Yeah.
And so I'll sit there for like 30 minutes just trying to get one lineup put together. Dude, I hate doing that. That stuff, like, it really, like, it takes years off of my, you know, my lifespan. It's trying to figure that shit out.
It helps you just like bypass your OCD. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So, that's precisely right. It's just like, okay, good. I've got 6% of Sung Jae. That's all that I'm allocating. Cool. Throw them in there. I feel, you know, whatever. And especially when it comes to withdrawals and stuff like that happen pre-lock or after lock, I should say. I think who was like the darling 2 weeks ago?
Oh, it was Colin and Knapp.
It was Knapp. And so Knapp was actually one of those targeted golfers I had because he followed kind of that elite grouping that we had on the screen not too long ago.
Yep.
And I went back into my optimizer just to see how much I actually played of him. And thankfully I put an exposure on him for 24% or something like that. I'm like, oh my God, thank goodness. I would have played 100% Jake Knapp because that's how much I liked him.
Yeah.
But I had forgotten that I put that exposure on him. And now ride it out, which I actually had a successful week that week just because I limited. It's because I played a ton of lineups. Yeah, I played a ton of lineups and I limited my exposure, but I still got to play him. That's the other thing that goes with it is I still got to play him. So it's like a win-win all the way through.
Yeah. And I know you're not an ownership guy, and, you know, to hit the sweet spot and hit the optimal, which is what your entire channel is about.
Yep.
Worrying about ownership doesn't make a difference. You're looking to just have the best lineup.
Right.
But from a game theory perspective, you know, if you see someone that's just getting ultra popular, sometimes you can just, like with Austin Smotherman this week. I said to you before, did I say before we went live or not?
You withdrew all of it.
Yeah, just I decided once I realized that he had the baby hanging in the back of his head, you know, his wife could have given birth any minute. And he played like absolute shit on Friday. And I'm assuming he got some sort of a phone call that said, look, your missus is going into labor or something or something. Because he was playing good golf and then he just imploded, you know. So that was just a fifth of the field. Just I didn't have to worry about them because I never had that guy. I had my other guys like Sahith and etc., you know, doing their stuff. So, you know, sometimes you win that way. Sometimes it pays off to just ignore that, you know. So it's kind of like a bit of both.
I've never done this before, and I don't know why I haven't. I have this sorted by by ownership for the $5 Drive the Green contest. So you're right, 21% Austin Smotherman. He was fifth in ownership.
That's $7,400.
Yeah,
you know this is sorted by ownership. Look at my model ranking. I imagine this is what happens with everybody when it comes to building lineups. Well, duh.
I know that's what I'm saying. So like if you sort by salary, it's like you're selecting one of these guys, right? And you can see that that's how the ownership is reflected. So it's like you're selecting one of these guys because they're 1, 2, 3, 4 in any model, pretty much. Like, of course, in my model, it makes. I shouldn't say it that way, but it's like if you're building a model correctly, your top price guys should kind of be at the top of your of any model.
Yeah.
But if you were building lineups and you're just handpicking them and you're sweating over the limited amount of lineups you're building, you're probably grouping them up like this, where you're like, okay, here's these 4 golfers, I need to pick at least one of them. These, 6 golfers, I need to pick at least one of them. These 6 golfers, I need to pick at least one of them, or whatever. The chances are you're probably doing the top rank guy or maybe the second rank guy. And if you're doing game theory, you're trying to pivot, right? So then you go to Victor Hovland.
Victor Hovland, we missed the freaking
Who missed the cut? Well, right. So it's like, so when it comes to like hand building lineups, I've done this before too, because you also see names that you like. Out of these top guys, I'm sure you have a favorite, or you could rank these and who you like more than, or better to worse, like.
Yeah. For me, it's usually someone I hate more, like dislike, like Fitz, my best lineup this week was the only one I think I had Fitz in.
Really?
Yeah.
And you don't like Fitz?
Well, no.
Okay.
He's blocked me on Twitter.
Oh yeah, that's right. By the way, Batia was in that 10K range, but he withdrew before lineup lock.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But yeah, but that's kind of how it goes. So like, okay, I need to put a lineup in with Hovland because I'm going to be a game theory bro, and I know he's not going to be as owned as Xander or as owned as Fitzpatrick, so I need to put Hovland in, and then I'm going to come down here and, well, shoot, Ben Griffin is 5th in my model. No one's going to play him. I'm also going to stick Ben Griffin in a lineup. Now I'm ultra contrarian. Now I can, put all the
Put Austin Smotherman in your lineup.
Yeah, that's right. Now I can go and put all the high ownership guys in. And this is why I can't do game theory. I'm never going to do that. Yeah. I'm always going to use the bucket system, first of all. And you've said it. There's other people that have looked at my process and go, oh, you're never going to be on high owned guys because you're grabbing people who missed the cut last week. You're grabbing people who have really bad course history at this event. Like, nobody else is going to do that because nobody likes playing that way. And so, yeah, there is a natural process of fading ownership, I guess, to some extent. But if you're building one lineup, I bet FOMO hits you hard when you're trying to put together the best lineup.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can only pick one of Xander, Fitz, Bridgman.
Yeah.
Who were all 4th, 1st, and 14th kind of thing. Like, what are you doing there? So I love this was a really cool discussion. Usually this is the time where we go and I'll ask you who led the field this week in strokes gained approach. And we can dive into how guys played this week and whatnot. But I felt like this was we didn't even plan on really going this deep into the weeds on this stuff. And I've loved it. I've honestly loved it. So
I'm a huge fan of winging anything because you tend to get honesty, transparency, and just overall quality. Like, to me, I've always, except for a wedding speech I just gave in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, I tried to wing that, and I was
never good.
I was so flustered because of how everything was situated that I bombed my opening joke. Because I couldn't think of the punchline. Like I just, and I sat there thinking to myself, I'm like, why can't I think of this? And I was so frustrated with all the things that were leading up to it and how quick I had to go on and whatever, that I couldn't even rehearse for like 2 seconds. It was just like, boom, you're up. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I got this. I'm going to go up cool. I'm going to go up cool. And then I fucking bombed it. Like, it was like, God, it sucks so much.
By the way, those speeches, if you are nervous about giving speeches at weddings or funerals, God forbid, being prepared, like, I'm on camera all the time. I did public speaking. I was like one of the best public speakers in high school, like whatever, debate clubs, all that jazz. I'm very comfortable being in front of people. But when I go to a wedding and have to give a speech, if I'm not prepared, I cannot enjoy my day until I've said the speech. Like, that's fair. Being prepared for stuff makes a difference. So some life advice for you guys from yours truly.
I will say this here. Let me give you a little look into it. So my buddy who got married, his name's Eric. My name is Eric. One of our other good friends that was the best man, his name is Eric. And then we took in, or the other person in the wedding party was named John. So I was gonna do this not Eric joke, and the MC beat me to the punch in doing that. Ooh. And so I'm like, oh shoot. So like that kind of, I'm like, but I can still do this joke. And so I go up there and I'm like, hi, my name's Eric. And then it just gone.
Oof.
Yeah. And I was like, son of a, and I literally go, I'm so sorry guys. I forgot my joke. Like, let's see. You know what? I'm not even gonna try. Sorry. And then I went into like the speech that I had, and that was fine, but it was just that momentary, like, And it's interesting because I know you don't like small moments of silence. You know, when I was up there, someone videotaped me. I rewatched it after and I was like, oh, that's actually smoother than I thought. Everybody was giving me shit for like, dude, you bombed up there. And it's like, I've heard way worse. Way worse. And I can live in silence for a little bit. You know, like it's okay to have 1 or 2 seconds of silence to try to process stuff. But yeah, that was, it felt like an eternity, like trying to think of.
Did you go after the
first
maid of
one?
honor?
Nope, I was the first one.
That helps because guys going after the maid of honor who's always got their notes app on their iPhone.
Yeah.
The girls are always ready to rock and roll, no matter what. Like, you know, me and Sarah go way back, and then it doesn't matter because they look prepared. It can be a bad write-up, but they're delivering it fine. You know, then
this delivery was terrible by the maid of honor, by the way. She had this long ass whatever. To your point, you're absolutely right. And my buddy goes, oh shit. The other Eric, he goes, oh shit, I'm not gonna beat that. I'm like, dude, just don't say as many ums as her and whatever, you're gonna be just fine. So anyways,
yeah. And then the groom, what is it? The man, what is it? Your best man. Jesus. Goes up there and says, well, I haven't prepared anything, so I'm just gonna speak about, you know, like, then it's just like immediately letting the people down, you know, like, okay, buddy, you're the best man of this person. Go up there and like give a shit, you know. By the way, in weddings, I've been the groom, I've been the officiant, I've been the best man, I've been the co-best man, I've been a groomsman, and I've been the flower bro and an usher.
But not the best man.
No, I've been a best man and a co-best man.
Oh, gotcha.
There was someone that I was working with for 2 years that I was his best man, and it was the most random best man invitation I've ever had in my entire life. Like brutal stuff, you know. But I crushed that speech because I was ready to rock and roll. But I crushed the flower bro part the best. On the cruise ship, with all the flowers, I had like a little satchel. Flowers. So weddings are the best, man. Weddings are the best. Anyway, do we even want to like recap what happened this week, or let's just dive into Houston, dude?
Yeah, all I have to say about Valspar is 2 things. 1, frustrated that Sungjae didn't win. 2, I'm glad Fitzpatrick beat Lipsky because listen, Cinderella stories are great and everything, but Lipsky winning would have been as disappointing as Melnati winning, you know, a few years ago. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not a huge fan of the David Lipskys of the world, you know, coming into a tournament. If Fitzpatrick is an elite golfer, he should win this event, and thank God he did, because otherwise it would have looked terrible on Fitzpatrick for not winning.
You know, this was such a boring tournament.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Like the fact that Fitz was up there and the fact that Fitz couldn't make a putt made it even worse. You know, like he was like dismantling the course. He just wasn't losing. While, you know, he wasn't really winning this tournament, he just wasn't losing it hardly ever. Granted, he was hitting the absolute piss out of it. But we had the guys, Lipsy, Sungjae, and Jesus, where the hell is Brandt? Where the hell did Brandt go? Brandt Snedeker. I don't even see his name. Where did he fit? T18. Shot 5 over par today. And
that was to be expected. To be honest, that was to be expected.
But, you know, Brandt was sun running with the putter. Like, have you ever seen someone gain 5 strokes in 2 rounds of golf in the same tournament? Like, to gain 5 strokes putting is so difficult. And he did it twice.
If there was a guy that you think could do that, it would be Brandt Snedeker. Or Zach Johnson, or any of those old wily guys that have been known for being a good putter.
Yes. And a Brandt Snedeker who's now moved to the new thing that everyone's doing, playing the Spider TaylorMade mallet, or just any mallet in general. Like, have you noticed all of the guys at the top of the boards everyone is playing the these mallets now for some reason. You know, like analytics is just coming, it's steamrolling golf right now.
I didn't tell you this before we jumped live. Part of my weekend was going back and getting refitted for my driver that I bought.
Yeah.
And we discussed things very in depth. He's a competitive golfer, the guy that fitted me, and he's done US Open qualifiers. So we were talking about that and all that stuff. And he was telling me how he was on the range last year in DC for the final qualifier for the US Open. So he made it there. He made it past the local and was into the final. And he was next to Mark Leishman. And Mark Leishman had like 16 to 18. No, I think he had like 18 clubs, like right there. And he just thought, hey, well, why do you have so many clubs with you right now? Like, don't you already know what 14 clubs you need or whatever? And I think it was like during a practice round or something, or the days before leading in, or I don't remember exactly how it went. But I think Mark Leishman told me, he goes, you have to be prepared for everything, because, and this is word of this conversation to come back to what you were just talking about with the mallet putter, is these guys are playing the smallest little
edge.
That's right. The smallest little edge. So those mallet putters set up straight all the time. Like you're not getting goofed by putting the putter head down in the face being slightly tilted forward, like with a blade, because if you do that and you're forward pressing, you're not really going to tell that your blade is de-lofted, or, and I'm sure most of these golfers aren't doing it that crazy, but listening to Ludwig Oberg talking about putting, do you know, okay, I'm going down a rabbit hole of things that I've learned, but like,
this is cool. This is nerdy.
Ludwig says that and this is something to watch. I was watching it after he had said it. He was talking to I forget if it was a TPI guys or whatever. I can't remember, but he goes, he had found out that he was actually pulling all of his putts, and he's a blade putter. He hits with a blade. What he found out with whoever he was talking to was, when he putts his best, he bumps his hips forward. So he addresses, bumps his hips forward, and then putts. Yeah.
Which opens the blade.
Yeah, and he actually talked about it. He said exactly exactly. It does open it up, and that's where he's hitting them straight. But if he doesn't do that, he pulls them.
So he's still pulling them.
Oh yeah, he's still pulling them, but he's
putting them back onto line versus offline.
Right. But that's just his thing. That's his shtick, But when it comes to those mallet putters, it's like, if you throw that on the ground and you tilt it forward, the ass end of that thing goes so far up that it's so easy to tell. There's a shadow casting underneath your putter because of how big it is.
A bunch of ants setting up camp,
Yeah, exactly. So it's always going to be flat. And that line on top of it is just easier to look at than a blade, because a blade is just really small, So it makes sense to me why everyone's moving to a mallet. It's easier to set up. You just got to get used to hitting it, because sometimes mallets, they're hot. And if you hit a putter or if you hit a ball, it just explodes off your face. So you kind of have to figure out which mallet's best for you. But when it comes to setup, it's hard to lie with a mallet.
Amen.
So I think,
golf. What would you say the percent of golf can make you a better golfer? X% of golf success happens before you move a muscle on the swing.
Setup. Absolutely. 100%.
What percent of setup is it attributed to success, would you say, for an average golfer? I would say setup for amateurs is probably more percentages than professionals.
Well, for sure. Yeah. Well, I would say that I almost would make it a universal number, because I bet you if you listen, I think Rory said this in one of his, oh God, I can't remember which golfer it was. It was a pro golfer. I think it was Rory. He just said, yeah, it was Rory. Oh, it was Rory and Scotty. They were doing a 3-hole match with TaylorMade. And I think one of them asked the other person, what are you thinking about before hitting it? He goes, I've got this one thought, Like everything is set up. That's all they said was everything is set up. And I have this one thought to bring the club back, and I don't think of anything else. And that's how I like. So it was cool listening to that, but I also kind of already have those feelings when it comes to like when I give lessons. I'm all about setup. Make sure, you know, your alignment is good. The PGAs of golf, or if I'm teaching students, it's the GPA of golf. You know, it's grip, posture, and alignment.
Alignment, bang, ball position, whatever.
Those three things. If you focus on those three things, I mean, that's 90
more than 50% for sure.
Oh, right, but I mean, like, I never really think about how I'm bringing the club back. The only thing I have to think about is tempo, because if I set up with the proper alignment, the proper grip, and the proper posture. Now I'll say this: newbies that are playing, they don't know exactly what to feel in the swing when you're bringing the club back and whatever. So they don't know what position A1 is, or A2, A3, A4, A5. They don't know those positions. But if you can set them up right and they're at least somewhat athletic, they're going to put a good golf swing on more often than not. I'm not going to put a percentage on it, but
sure. Yeah,
putting it in just setup is all that matters. And speaking on the whole Brandt Snedeker going to a mallet, I mean, the guy's already good at putting, but if feedback is not the same as what you initially feel like before hitting that putt, something is amiss. Something is lying to you. And so if you just go to a mallet putter versus a blade putter, you can remove that uncertainty just with the club.
Mm-hmm. And that gives you more confidence.
That's
because you know that you're aiming correct. You know that the stuff that you've typically messed around with is remedied, you know. So now you just have to put on a good stroke. By the way, Brandt lost 2.6 strokes today putting.
Putting?
Putting. Yeah.
What was his
what
approach
pressure does
stats
to you, man.
What were his approach stats?
Brandt today, I'll pull it up, show people what's cooking. Brandt, he lost a lot of
Oh
strokes.
my God.
He played some bad golf today.
Yeah, that's bad golf
today. It was not good. You know, did you see he was hitting a lot of driver off the deck?
No,
a couple
I did not see that.
holes early, he was hitting DOD, man. And he was just, I think Brad Faxon mentioned that, or Bones, that when you're hitting driver off the deck, it helps you just square up the face and hit it dead straight. Because when you're teeing it up, there's more spin.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, it just goes offline a lot easier. You're not getting as much distance on carry, obviously, off the deck, but it helps you at least hit some fairways. So Brandt did that pretty good. He missed one fairway on the front nine, and then couldn't get anything going when it mattered on the back. So fun to see that happen. I was most impressed, Dobbs, with Lipsky. He did lose strokes putting today as well, but the rest of it, I mean, geez, he just showed up out of nowhere compared to his tournament stats. You know, the ball striking showed the hell up today.
And what an interesting golf swing that guy has. Did you pay attention? His face falls like when he swings back. You know how some people have their eyes just like focused down at the golf ball? His head actually kind of pulls away. And I thought it was so interesting. I'm sure you can still see the golf ball, but his head just like his shoulder was moving his head back so much in his golf swing. I'm like, how can this be consistent?
Mate, you know,
he struck the shit out of the ball.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Every shot that I saw him hit, I'm like, he flushed it. Yeah. That looks good, you know?
Yeah. You know, we were speaking about what you think about when you're making a backswing. And when we were playing a couple months ago in Minnesota, remembering to just keep my head dead still and just have everything move around the head was what helped me like really get my stuff figured out a little bit, along with turning my shoulders. But to like what professionals do better than most, you know, amateurs is if you watch their head for the most part, at least old school swings, you know, Neiman and them are now bobbing up and down, but at least horizontally, the head despite them like moving back and forth with their whole body, the head stays very, very still. You
The
know,
cheat
and
code.
most of
So
the time it's behind the ball.
the cheat code to a lot of these players, is they already set up with their head, like, you know, if you're throwing a baseball, you're gonna like go load up on your trail side, and then you follow through, and so you can see how my head's moving that way.
Yeah.
These golfers were set up right here already. So when they bring the ball back, if they're going to throw it, they're already right here. And if you just think of that, your head is still, like it's not moving.
Yeah.
The only movement you want in your golf swing is to go forward. Right. So if you're already set up here, you don't have to worry about that going back and then transitioning and being off with your, your movement. So look at Patrick Cantlay's face on. You know what? I'll pull it up right now. Because
by the way, T7 today,
dude, and that was another guy. Him playing well killed a lot of my lineups because I did not play much of him because I'm not a believer in Patrick Cantlay.
No, he's been pathetic for a while. He's just been the consummate professional, finishing top 20 and making tons of cash and doing his thing, keeping his card. But he did good. He did good today. Obviously the eagle helped a lot and kind of only made 4 under par holes today to surge up the leaderboard, which is incredible. Penge is someone I'm very interested in. I've been high hopes on Marco Penge for quite some time, and he made 5 bogeys today and still shot 71.
It's just like a very
which is
cool
incredible. He won 3 times on the DP World Tour, and he hits it a million miles. Brand Snedeker on one of the par 5s hit his drive while Penge was still waiting to hit the green on his second shot, and they showed the graphic. Penge was 50 yards ahead of
I know,
Brand
I saw that
drive. That's the stuff. By the way, I'll just jump the gun here. Marco Penge, go bet him right now.
Oh my God,
at the Houston Open. I mean, talk about if you're just looking for distance, this is the guy, and he's now starting to find his groove. He played quite nicely at the Genesis. Got that baby swag going on. Shout out to Marco, on the new baby, and it was good to see. Okay, Patrick Cantlay, front on. Look where his hands are. They're behind the ball.
A lot of times you want that driver, the handle to dissect both your hands. You don't want your handle to be that far forward, this to be a straight line. A lot of times I shouldn't say a lot of times you don't, but there are two, I guess there's 2 theories on this, or 2 thought processes. Is you either want that driver to go right up the middle of your hands, or you want this arm over here and make a reverse K. If you've ever heard of that, where the arm is straight down and that club makes just a straight line from his shoulder down to the ball.
Yeah.
So there are two thoughts, but this is kind of natural. And this is from 2021, I think it is. So that's, I would want to find something much sooner, but I couldn't find anything.
That's fine.
But yeah, your head right here, his head, you can already see his nose is kind of pointing this way.
Yeah.
So then when he does bring this back, I'm probably going to get copyright for sharing this, but it's not moving. Look at where his chin is.
Yeah, it's dead still. Like, look at the background behind him.
Yeah.
You can see the same thing all the time.
And so like where his body is here versus where it is here, like look at his head doesn't even
right next to his ear.
His chin does move back a little, but it should. Everybody who's golfing, you should never keep your head absolutely still. You should allow your body to kind of move it slightly. But should. If
you're moving it more than a head's width, it's too much.
Oh yeah. No, it's just your shoulder. When you swing back, your shoulder should bring it back a little bit.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah. I saw.
And get him through impact now. Let me see what he looks like when he's swinging. Because look how still his head is still staying. Look at all the other stuff moving, but head.
It is moving backwards,
until the very end. He's already made contact with the ball, theoretically there. It's split seconds of movement.
Look where his head is.
Yeah.
In relativity of where the middle of his stance is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And really, his head didn't move. It kind of did move backwards just a
But
little bit.
it's the foot before the ball's being struck where the head moves the most for him.
That's right.
Which is
Yeah.
where your body's being the most vicious. It's moving. Whew. We've got nerdy today, boy. It's been fun. This has been what we've really hoped the show would be, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it. The chat's kind of chilled.
Yeah,
They're probably waiting for.
It's chill over on my side too. I got Dan in my chat. He's been talking to me about, or he posted in here about Tiger's putting stroke and how his wasn't actually square to square, like it was slightly off the toe that he was making impacts. So there's nerdy stuff happening in my chat right now.
Let's go.
Dan, if you want it to go on stream, go to Byron's and post it there.
Okay. All right. Let's transition. Let's dive into some Houston Open trends that we did last week to kind of find your guys to narrow down the pool, hopefully at the top. Or do we want to we can do the betting portion a little bit later as we try and figure out salaries and stuff for each other for guys.
Well,
because
I do have, I don't have salaries up, but at sweetspotdfs.com, the next week's stats have Houston Open in there. So you can kind of, do your quick research to begin the week if you want.
Cool. Beautiful.
And
so do I have all my stuff as well. So we might jump between the two as we researching stuff tonight.
Perfect. But let's go over the same things we did last week. And I think maybe just going forward, what matters more, course history or recent form?
I love that. Yeah. And I almost think that this week, neither really matter. I'm just probably going to lean into distance. you know, like that needs to be my number one priority because literally Minwoo Lee is the poster child of made a couple putts, hit a couple good shots on approach, but was hitting from 20 to 30 yards closer than the majority of the field all week, just because there was no repercussions for just mashing potatoes off the tee.
So,
but we might find some different trends as we go through this stuff now.
Memorial Park, can you remind me, when was this tournament or this golf course implemented when it came to this tournament? Was it?
It's been at least for the last 5 years, but it fell off the schedule in 2023. If you're looking at course history, you're going to see 2021, 2022, and then 2024, because it was on the back end of the schedule when we went from the weird schedule where it began in the middle of the year or whatever to the one that now starts January. And as a result, we completely just missed it.
That's right.
But they've also nerfed the shit out of this golf course. It used to be a really difficult course where you had to hit fairways because the rough was so penal. And in the last 3 or 4 years, it's actually been completely KO'd with like easy overseeded rough or I don't even know if it's overseeded. They maybe just cut it down or whatnot to give them like.
Looks like it is overseeded. I got it as overseeded.
There we go. Yeah. So overseeded Bermuda. Do you have that for like every single year?
No. So this golf course was introduced in 2020 when it was in the fall. Okay. Like it was the fall event. So that's why there was no overseed.
Yeah.
So I imagine as we go through the years, we're going to figure out when.
That makes so much. They didn't actually do it on purpose. It just is because of the season that it's now in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2024, it looks like, so you can see the year. So it must have been 2022 was the fall of 2022. And then it wasn't the fall event in 2023. It moved to a spring event in 2024.
The Steven Yeager win versus Scotty Scheffler. Remember that?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Hey, look at that. That's good to go over that. That's kind of our quick hitting.
There's your course preview.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It's a course preview. So it's good to know that, because now as we go through and we look at course history versus recent form, the time of year is going to matter. Like I imagine certain golfers are playing this event only in the spring versus the fall, or a certain type of golfer is playing this. I'm sure all the Texas boys, care about this event. One thing I'll just straight away say, look at how many golfers have zero course history heading into this event that finished inside the top 10.
Yeah. It's probably more of could we have almost 3 buckets where it's recent form, course history, and course fit? like
Mm,
course fit being guys
bomber.
that bomb and pack,
Yeah.
So
So,
okay.
all right. Well, just note that there's 3 guys that are going to be missing from our top 10 that have no course history. But if we sort course history, this is 2025, and we look at our course history, we're going to do our counts. That's what we did last week. So,
Yeah.
for course history, the best course history, the guy only played it the year before. That was Alejandro Tosti. Him and Thomas Dietrich, who defected. I hate that when it comes to going to live. He defected to live. They both had second place finishes, but Toasty followed up his second place finish with a 5th place. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 course history guys. Now this is the top. What was this? It's top 20. Let me zoom out because this is what we did last time. We did the top 28, so it was 165. Okay, cool. Here's the top 28 in course history. So we actually add one more person. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 golfers in the top 28 of course history finished inside the top 20. There are some that finished top 10. 2 golfers were in the optimal lineup. Throwing that out there.
Those little black dots over there are optimal.
That's correct.
Plays. By the way, I don't mind you leaving the feed for 30 seconds. Go to DraftKings right now and bet Alejandro Tosti at 440 to 1.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I bet him earlier at 725 to 1.
Wow.
I put $5 on and I can make a full paycheck. I can make
Is that a mistake?
$3,500.
Is that a mistake?
That number will get nuked to like probably 90 to 100 to 1 by the time.
Is this how betting works every single week? Like on a Sunday, you go in and it's like 1,000 to 1?
The DraftKings is the only book that drops odds on a Sunday, maybe even Saturday nights sometimes.
Okay.
And they are the first to do it. And how books work is you drop the odds, and then if you are a big time bettor that drops thousands and thousands of dollars on bets, you won't be able to, they usually won't let you place much early on, because the more information the books get, the more they increase their limits to allow bigger amounts of money, because they're protecting themselves from being overexposed to a guy like Alejandro Tosti, who's just today in the last couple of hours dropped from 725 to 1 to 440 to 1. And by the time you're listening to this tomorrow on a Monday afternoon, his number's probably 250 to 200. And then by Wednesday night, that number everyone's listened to all their content and things, and then they've come in, and the big names with all the money now have an open account to go and lay as much as they want. I don't know how much it happens in golf betting and what, but that's typically how sports books work, like when it comes to NFL and things. They won't let the sharp people lay their usual amounts early. They're waiting to gather information from the markets.
Gotcha.
So DraftKings being first is going to potentially have some erroneous odds out there at times, or mispriced numbers, because all the other books will bitch out and come out tomorrow and see what DraftKings has been getting nuked at, and they'll protect themselves and then put Toasty at like 350 to 1, 300, 250, whatever. So certain books have nicer numbers, but also he's like, the chances of him winning is like slim, but
right.
$5 is $5. It can turn into $3,600. Like, woo, I'll take that.
100%.
So anyway, small digression there, but I figured I would mention because in case I forgot.
Good to know. Good to know. So again, 9 golfers inside the top 28 of course history at or in the field last year finished inside the top 10, top 20. So
okay. So what's that, like roughly 1/3 of the top 28?
Correct. Now, recent form, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So pretty much the same. Now, kind of like what we did last week, let's look at people who overlap. Obviously, Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy are going to be 2 guys that overlap, but we'll take these numbers. So 43.8, I'm just going to remember 44. 44 for recent form, and not that one. 36. Okay, so 44 and 36. So we go less than or equal to 44. And for course history, less than or equal to 36. And now we kind of have our power, like our elite grouping
elite
here.
buckets. Yeah.
So there are, I mean, it is top 20 or missed cut. That's what we're seeing.
Which for DFS is chill. You know, that's exactly what you're wanting if you're targeting the optimal.
That's right. So moving to 2024.
You need to add columns to the right of this where it's just binary type yes or no. Are you inside the top 20?
Oh, sure.
Or,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a smart idea. It's
also what I just realized right now.
Okay. I'd have to update some things, so I'm not going to do it on the fly.
No. I'm just telling you now.
Yep, I agree. I agree. This is sorted right now by DraftKings points, and I'm just going to throw that out there because look at how many guys that don't have course history that are up here. It's a lot.
Top end finishes.
A lot.
Yeah. So course fit might actually be the case this week.
Oh, stupid 5K range. Oh my God. I hate the 5K range.
Okay.
All right, so top course history guys. Looking at the top 28 of 2024. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's another guy just below that won the event who was in 29th place for course history. Just remembering that. Maybe I'll use 43 as my number. I think that's fine.
Oh, we're manipulating the trends again now, Dobbo.
Just buy one golfer. Just buy one golfer. All right, so recent form. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this one is, we'll just go 48. And the other one is, I already forgot, was it 43? 44.
44. Before you changed your mind to fit the trend, it was 43. Now it's 44.
Oh, it's 43. No. We'll keep it 43. I'm sorry. 43 okay. And this one's 48. I have really bad short-term memory, so like you'll just have to remind me.
On stream, my memory is also nasty bad because you're like focusing on what you're saying and not what you're like hearing yourself say.
Hey, look at this, man. It's almost the same story as the as 2025. We have 4 golfers. 4. And, oh my God. Yeah. It's almost identical.
The same amount. And the nice thing is it goes all the way into the 7s too, obviously. You know?
Right, but you can see that the 7K range doesn't have much success. I mean, yeah, there's one golfer here that's 7,900 that finished 18th. Yeah. And in 2024, there's a guy 7,800 that finished 14th. But everybody else is a bit, it's like 8K and above. That's kind of how I look at it. I'll allow, if I was to do this with the optimizer, I'm going to allow it to select some of these guys down here, but I am not anchoring around any of these low price golfers.
No, anchoring around, unless you have like absolute conviction on anyone south of 8K, like it's not recommended.
Right. Once again, look at the guys that have no course history. Not as many. There's 2. Yeah. 2 guys. But if we sort from top to bottom with course history, we have a small amount this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This goes down to 38. Recent form. Oh, well, why do we have outs in there?
Get them out.
Okay. So with the recent form, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You got another guy down here. I'll manipulate it a little bit too here.
Yeah.
So
this would be the first year that they're showing up here in the spring.
Yeah.
Versus fall golf when the Bermuda is just the only rough out there.
That's correct. Good point.
Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting because when you're looking at the course history, you have to remember that because yikes.
2 guys.
Yeah.
A couple withdraws. So that it's difficult how I look at withdraws. People who withdraw, I don't include them in my performance stats. So like when I do the database updating and stuff, if I see there's a withdraw, I remove them completely because it's difficult to put them in for any kind of performance evaluation because, I mean, what did they withdraw from? Was it an injury? Well, if it's an injury, that's not a performance-based, like obviously get rid of that stuff. Was it because they were playing bad? They always come up with excuses why they're going to withdraw if they're playing bad. So it's difficult unless you make a note of it and just say, hey, we got to include this because that guy was playing like ass and he just quit. He withdrew because, he was like Siwoo Kim out there. That's just like, I'm not going to win the tournament. So I'm going to withdraw.
Brian, this is Brian Campbell. Okay. He withdrew with a neck injury.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He
got a case of the water neck. That's what he got.
he hit his ball in the water off the tee box, went and dropped it by the ladies' tee. Couldn't carry the water. He hit it 220 yards as hard as he possibly could. Hit in the water. Then went back, dropped again, hit in the water again. At the bottom here, you can see he was hitting his 6th shot into the water. Like shot 6 in the water, 79 whole yards to go. At this point, he's hitting his 8th shot is going to be coming from the same spot again.
Yep.
And the best case scenario for him would be to like make a 13 on this hole because you'd probably have to like go down the left-hand side because he's physically incapable of carrying a 230 freaking yards. Yet he's a 2-time winner on the PGA Tour. I digress. I just wanted to say that.
No, that's
to
awesome.
Go back to what you were showing.
No, that is so good, man.
I had this lined up for the recap because this was freaking hilarious.
Yeah,
dude.
I hate whenever I get the water neck. Like. By the way, I've seen friends of mine withdraw from tournaments because they're not playing good. I always think that's chicken shit. Like
that's bullshit, dude.
Yeah,
like man up.
That's right.
I shot a 90 in college. I prided myself. It was my senior year. I chipped one out of bounds. I hit a tree limb and it didn't carry the thing bounced on the cart path and went OB. I shot 90 on the number. I actually drained like a 40-footer with my driver on a par 3 for 30 to shoot 90. That was a situation in a college tournament. But, neither here nor that.
Yeah.
But I think those two WDs were, if you take a look at strokes gained, probably the tournament didn't make its way to conclusion on Friday night. So that a couple people only had to finish a couple holes on Saturday morning, knowingly gonna miss the cut, but still had to go out there in like freezing cold temps or something to go and finish the round when you could easily just move on to the weekend and whatever. So I would be shocked if it was because it's two high-end guys. One of them obviously being Decky, the ultimate WDer.
Oh,
but Burns, in my opinion, probably was one guy that just missed the cut barely. But it doesn't really matter, but it's stuff like that you can put into context. I don't think they were playing terrible. I think there was like a players as well where tournament finished on a morning. I don't know. What was he? He was playing kind of poorly. Jesus, he was putting bad. But yeah, there's Decky. He was gaining just a fraction overwards.
Don't have salaries? Okay, well, whatever. I can't believe I
I
salaries.
hijacked the entire momentum we were building there.
It's all good, dude. I'm just curious because you have a point there. If they couldn't finish, that's a good reason why they would withdraw, which then you would want to look at their
yeah.
You'd want to look at their whatever I'm trying to say. Their full on stats.
Yeah.
I'm typing their names in. I need to know. I know. I need to know. We'll put Hideki and Burnsy in.
While you're doing this, I'm going to go grab another drink quickly. I'm thirsty.
Okay. So Burns, he only played one round. I can't tell if he played a second round. Looks like Hideki finished 2 rounds. Well, now this is what we got to do. Actually, let's put in 2020. This is 2022 Houston Open. Yep, that's the right one. The Hewlett Packard. Nope, that's not the right one. Come on, dude.
Hit the season. Go to season.
I'm looking at the PGA Tour, and I guess it's technically the 2023 based off of the season. Yeah.
The season, yeah.
And if I scroll down, there's Decky. Oh my God, I'm on results or overview. This is one thing I hate about this. God damn
The
it.
one thing you hate about the PGA Tour website?
It's a bunch of things. Yeah, I don't even know how to get back to 2020. This is so stupid. Oh no, this is never mind. I'm being stupid. There's a ton of withdraws.
Yeah,
Holy.
that was it. Yeah, it's all the guys that
Decky finished 2 rounds and then just quit. He's not even.
What does round 3 look like?
What was the cut? Because he's what,
Good.
1 under or even par? What was the cut? Even so, he made the cut.
Interesting. Well, he's perennially withdrawing. But
Yes.
What about everyone else? I think that's what does Sam Burns get up?
The only one that I cared about was Sam Burns. The other ones I don't. So he finished round 1.
Okay, round 2.
No, there's no round 2. So he only played 1 round of golf and he finished it. He shot 77. So see, this is what you wouldn't include this because he played.
Yes.
I mean, this is
Bad.
awful.
He bitched out.
He did bitch out for
Waterneck.
sure. Okay. The reason to bring this up again for anybody that's lost is what do we take? Because like if they didn't withdraw and who knows what because we didn't know what they withdrew from, these performances could be top 10, top 20s if they were healthy. That's kind of my thought process on it.
Mm-hmm.
Could be. So when we look at the previous years prior to, it's like we've got 4 golfers to consider to kind of put in our lineups. If these guys were quote unquote healthy, Sam Burns, Hideki, could we have played them? Now, Hideki made the cut. Don't know why he withdrew. Burns, he played absolutely like garbage. So we would remove his name completely.
Yep.
But Hideki is a maybe. And I don't know. I guess it's maybe not worth mentioning or going over. But either way, there were 2 golfers there, Byron. 2 golfers to consider. Scotty Scheffler was in the sweet or the realistic optimal, as I used to call it way back in the day. Jason Day probably isn't getting the job done, although.
But 16th is not terrible.
He scored 11 more points or 11 less points than Scotty. So I don't know. I'm not going to get stuck on trying to figure out if you could build a lineup with him in it to take down a GPP. But maybe we'll do that on my Tuesday night stream. All right. 2022 top course history, guys. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that goes down to 42, we'll say. Recent form 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's a mix, and that goes down to 39. Although, look at this group of people right here.
Oh wow,
there's so many just under that number of 39, because that's the number we're going to go down to. And there's just fractionally below that, we're getting a big chunk of golfers. Do I just include that?
No.
Okay.
We
So
want what's on the screen. That's
39 and 42. All right. So less than or equal to, one's 42. Oh, no, this is 39. Sorry. This one's 39. I'm already cheating. And this one would be less than or equal to 42.
Also, the Google Sheets interface for like filtering is nightmarish compared to Excel.
I agree. Hey, look at that. We got 2 golfers yet again.
Yeah. So don't play more than 2
Cheapies.
guys that have good. Russell Henley, 8,900. He's playing this week again, I think.
I believe it. Well, let's take a look. If I sort by the golfer, I'm going to do it by OWGR. He's not in the field.
It may be Valero, I think. I don't know.
Okay.
But Valero makes more sense for him anyway. Why would Russell Henley go to this venue?
Now, here's another thing I'm going to bring up with this. There are only 5 golfers from 2022 that we can consider. In 2023, I mean, this doesn't make my case any better, but there was 11. In 2024, there were 10. In 2025, there were 9. So, like, the more golfers that we can put in this elite bucket, your number of like don't play more than 2 could actually shift to be 3. Like,
Okay.
but by far right now, my whole thought process is don't play more than 3 from the elite group, but at least play 1, if not 2. That's kind of like the if I bucketize these golfers, it's going to be like 1 to 3 that I want to put in my lineups.
And I'd imagine if we allowed you to cheat there a little bit and go a little further down, because they had like a massive clump of guys that didn't get in there, you would have, been a bit better off. I think you might have a couple
42. Then you add 2 other guys, an 8K golfer and another 6K golfer. That's what we would be including.
And now remember, this is when the conditions have been the hardest in 2022, in the fall. So this is the truest course history because they would have only played this venue at this time of the year.
That's right.
But only for like 3 years, right? And only began
back to 2020. Yeah, we'll have to go back to 20.
This place's course history is all jacked up.
It is. It makes it's definitely harder to, I guess, quote unquote, handicap.
From a course history perspective,
that's right. That's right.
I think that's where course fit could come in quite handy. I think. This week.
And that is a great point you bring up because the tournament history bucket or the course history bucket that I have, or the stats here, include the Houston Open at all venues played. So some of these golfers might have venues that aren't Memorial Park that are kind of either making their stats look better, making it look worse, or just no change. Like who knows? I'd have to dig down and try to figure out which of those golfers really it applies to. So anyway, it's 2021. We're getting into these are the years 2021 and 2020 where course history probably doesn't really matter. Tournament history doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to still go over it just to see the Houston Open, if it matters, to some of these golfers. But in 2021 tournament history, the best ones, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, it's probably doesn't
kind
really
of telling
matter.
us the story that we just were expecting,
But recent form isn't any better either. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this one goes to 37. This one goes to 39. Okay.
Dude, we left the door open for like a minute yesterday, and 1 or 2 flies came in, and now I'm gonna have to go buy fly traps again.
Yikes.
In the middle of March because it got 86 degrees yesterday, and now there's flies in the house. So if you see stuff flying around me,
I'm glad it's still too cold for flies here.
You had an 80-degree day.
We did
yesterday.
They might hatch.
And that's when
they might hatch, but they're going to die pretty soon because it's going to get back down to being a little colder.
I was getting my final snack before bed last night, and I saw a fly into the fridge, and I just closed the door.
You murderer.
Dies. Yeah. Or I'm going to eat it when it's buried in like a piece of ham or something that it's crawled into.
All right, so one golfer. It's the highest price golfer, and I mean, so 2022, not so much, but if we go and we're looking at all these other years, okay, hold on. Scotty Scheffler is the one consistent guy looking at all of these years that he's in the field. He is the guy that from this elite bucket finishes inside the top 10, top 20.
By the way, Brian Kirshner confirmed on Back Nine Bets.
That's right.
That Meredith is pregnant, like at least looking at her body. And she was pretty bumpy come the Amex, which was January, so this is mid-March now. They must be expecting, because he mentioned in his presser that he was not committed to the Houston Open after the Players.
Didn't he have didn't they have Bennett around this time too? Wasn't there like a question about the Masters?
Ooh, that's a very good point.
I'm looking it up right now.
I think you're spot on that.
This is so icky to do, by the way. When was Bennett Scheffler born?
We just saw one of the most popular golfers in the field play horrifically in Austin Smotherman because he's expecting a child any given day. Children ruin golf more than you realize.
Oh, I believe it.
And expecting a child is probably even worse. So
May 8th is when Bennett was born. So way past the Masters.
that's like PGA.
Yeah, it's PGA Championship.
time. Yeah. Okay. All right. So not necessarily thrilled about the overlap situation, apart from just playing, 1 to 3 of them, if you can digest.
I'm gonna just do this last year. This is 2020. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I understand it's not course history, it would be tournament history we're looking at. And then recent form is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Holy crap. That's
Nice.
5 optimal lineup golfers. 46 for recent form and 46.
But that makes sense. The harder the golf course, the better you have to be playing, really. Like, would you agree? Like, if easier courses where you can get away with errant shots a bit more, allow more people into the field because the margins aren't as thin.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's what we just saw kind of at the Valspar, where you could have David Lipsky's and Peter Malnati's winning the golf event, and Brandt Snedeker's coming from nowhere, to contend and compete at a very hard golf course.
Yeah, but they putted their brains out, so that can happen any given day.
That's golf, baby.
That's golf, baby.
So yeah, it looks like it's anywhere between 1 to 3, and it's consistent. I mean, you take Scotty out of there, and it might actually just change to 0 to 2. So here's Scotty. Outside of him, J-Day at 9.5. 2024, there's Scotty again. Otherwise, it's Tony Finau at 99, Horschel, and Hughes. These 3 golfers were in the GPP winning lineup. Sans Scotty. No Scotty. Finishing second, by the way. Scotty was in the optimal lineup, throwing that out there, just so everyone knows.
With the 5K available at 13,000.
Yeah, no 5Ks this week, I imagine.
I love that they're not doing 5Ks anymore. With
I
Scotty,
agree.
because he was the reason they implemented the 5K. Right?
Yes. And I am glad they finally, I mean, not so much finally, but this whole year they've not been doing any 5Ks, which is lovely. The 5K range, just, what's the purpose of doing a 5K range?
Why the 5K range?
Yeah. Just bring, if you're going to put a 5K range in there, just bring Scotty down to 12,700, like.
Keep it 6, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel you.
But I mean, that's a story to tell right there. It's Scotty is like the main contributor to these elite, like the elite bucket that we're creating right now with course history and recent form. Really, I think only Rory would have contended as a top price guy underneath. Like, if you look at all these other high price golfers, they all fail. They're not, DJ was Scotty before. Someone,
what is this? 21. Yeah.
Who mentioned that? Someone was like, isn't Scotty Scheffler just the new Dustin Johnson or something to that effect? Just because of how like laid back they are and like how they just don't care. Maybe it wasn't Scotty that they were referring to. It was somebody else. Oh, Cam Young. They were saying Cam Young is the new Dustin Johnson.
That checks.
Doesn't have much to say whenever he's asked questions. He doesn't talk a lot. He just loves to golf.
Massively powerful.
Yep. That's who it was. It was Cam Young.
That makes way more sense because Scotty.
Okay. But yeah,
anyone to Scotty.
What is the 8,900? Is that the sweet, like 89 to 96? Is that kind of the sweet spot? Oh, there's 99. Yeah, never mind. Okay. I'll look at it this way: 9K and 8K. At least one of these dudes, it feels like, is okay to play.
Yeah. Did I just see a $10,300 Seth the Gala in 2024?
Yep, you sure did.
That is banana land, dude.
Well, look at that recent form coming in.
Yeah, I know. Which he's not far off from that, apart from this week at the Valspar, where he literally forgot how to putt.
Yeah,
or chip. Like I'm down for him this week.
All right, Byron. Guess what we get to do? We can actually
now we get to see what happens.
We can do this with the website, because I forgot last week that I actually had filters. So let's see. I want the top 28. I'm just going to pick a number. We'll go down to 37. Sure. 37 is fine. And then here we will go down to 40.
Just do 40 across the board. Just make
40 across the board. Okay.
Just
so we can put these filters here. This is what I forgot that I had last week. This makes life real easy. I think it's going to include there, right? blanks because I don't know how to get rid of blanks in my.
Dabo,
what's up?
Get that 13 out of there. Is that the minimum?
That's the lowest. Yeah, that's the lowest.
Okay, I'm with you
now. We don't have to worry about that. I think how I can get rid of blanks is I just go into here and we select everything from course history except for 6s.
Okay.
And there we go. There's our group. This is our elite group.
Yeah. All right. So Scotty Scheffler is 3-1. He's going to be 13, probably 14, close to 14. What has he been this year?
It's been 14 across the board. He's even 14,000 for the Masters.
So he'll be 14 plus, you know, given
probably 14.2 to 14.4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Minwoo Lee is the next guy on the odds board at 23-1. So probably your next guy in the 10K range.
I honestly didn't even look at the field. I would put all these filters on, but I don't remember who is next. Is it Gotterup? That's like the next.
Gotterup is 25-1.
Yeah.
So your three favorites are right at the top here, and then you've got Ricky Fowler, who is 28-1. So he'll be in the 9K range.
Yeah, for OWGR, I haven't updated it tonight, but it goes Scotty, Gotterup, Griffin, English, Gerard, Lowry, and then Minwoo.
Dude, freaking Ben Griffin has got a problem right now.
It's not good.
Yeah, not good.
But let me bring these back. I just wanted to see who like the top rankings in the OWGR.
Yeah. I'm surprised Knapp isn't on there, but maybe he hasn't played this course well enough in the past or at all.
I didn't even see Knapp's name on there. Did you? Before I removed everything, or before I filtered down?
Or
I didn't even see his name. Here, I'll go back. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's below Day and now Marco. Well, not now Marco Penge, but I imagine Marco Penge is going to go up.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure I have it sorted on OWGR because that's what I have the names typically filtered by or sorted by, I should say. So, anyways, here's our group.
Then Kurt Kitayama is 31-1. So he'll be high 8K range. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in odds. I mean, this doesn't really help us with anything, dude. It's all the favorites. It's all the favorites. It's the top of it's the exact. Now, who doesn't show up there is going to be Sam Burns, Brooks Koepka for everyone that's ahead of Kurt Kitayama.
Well, if we compare to previous years, you know, like, okay, we have 5 golfers, right? What year was it that we only saw 5? Was that 2022? Yeah, 2022. There's only 5. You know, it didn't have Scotty Scheffler in the field, and it didn't have anyone as high priced in this elite group. I'm talking about the elite group. So we only had 5 golfers that qualified as that elite group that had good course history and recent form. So this year is a 10-9-9-8-6. If we look at this here, we know Scotty's going to be 14 something.
14.
Gotterup will be 99. Maybe he'll be 10K. Because if he's not 10K, there's only going to be one guy that's 10K and above, and it's going to be Scotty. So you would anticipate Gotterup would be probably a 10K golfer?
Somewhere in the ballpark.
I think there's only going to be 2. I think it's going to be Gotterup and Scheffler, or it's just Scheffler. And then everyone starts in the 9K range.
Okay.
Minwoo Lee, I imagine, will be, what, maybe $9,200, $9,400?
I think upper, like 95 and beyond, because he's 23-1.
But we agree he's in the 9K range, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Kurt Kitayama, you already said 8K range. I agree with you on that. Where do we think Ricky Fowler is going to be? High 7s? Low 8s? Low 8s?
Darbo, he could be low nines, high eights.
Ooh, low nines. Ooh,
Based off of the odds board, like
yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna boot you real quick so people
that's
can
fine.
see what I'm talking about. Here's the odds board for, by the way, some sneakies for you there if you're in the mood. Yes, this is what the DK pricing is likely going to look like in order,
Yep.
And here's our last man in at 31-1. There's literally it's Sam Burns, Jake Knapp, and Brooksy. That's not part of the guys we're seeing in now filtered for elite bucket. So,
which is absolutely fine, by the way, because like we were just talking about our elite bucket group. Really, you only want to play 0 to 3. It sounds like if you're not, it's either you play Scotty or you don't. And if you don't play Scotty, that projection becomes 0 to 2. You could literally play none of those guys and be just fine.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what cooks with these dudes. Interesting. Some other, while we're here, Harry Hall right up there, 30. Like he's going to be in the 8s.
Yep. Yeah, high 8s probably.
Yeah. Ben Griffin starting to
Kurt
drift.
Kitayama could be in the 9s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
well,
look,
here,
he's not
let's
far
number
from
this
the top
out.
of the board.
Hold on, let's number this out. Because we see the same amount of golfers in the 9 and 8K range almost every single week.
Okay.
So like we see anywhere between 6 to 7, or really 5 to 7, but I imagine it's gonna be 6 or 7 9K golfers this week. So
there is 6 golfers.
Yeah, and that's a smart number. We could keep it there. I actually think they might include one more, and I bet you it's Ben Griffin, not Harry Hall.
Yeah. Or based off of like recent form, it could be Nikolai too, because he's just playing much better than Ben Griffin right now.
That's true. It would be crazy to see Ben Griffin in the 7K range though. Or 8K range, sorry, the 8K range.
It would. And there's a very good chance he is.
Oh yeah. And good reason too. Like he's just not playing good golf right now.
And then here is, how many are in the 8s?
10, usually 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So
all the way down to
there's your 8K range, which includes Harry Hall, Ben Griffin, Harris English, Adam Scott, Michael Thorbjornsen, Marco Penge, Shane Lowry, Brian Gerard.
Here's what I'll say. What we've seen with the trends with this elite grouping that we just did, just to wrap everything up with a bow here. It's Scotty, obviously. But then we see success in the 8K range, like one guy in the 8K range and one guy in the 9K range. Now, if that grouping of 9K golfers that you have is going to actually be the 9K range, I say this loosely, but I will guarantee you that either Goddard, Fowler, or Kitayama is going to be in the optimal lineup. So that makes you 3 golfers that you can choose from right there. What I would love to see, Byron, because I'm going to be selfish about this, I would love to see Fowler and Kitayama in the 8K range and have Griffin and maybe Højgaard in the 9K range. Because then I'm actually thinking, well, now it's probably Goddard is my guy that I want to play. I mean, Minwoo's included in that upper. So yeah, if
9K range.
If Fowler and Kitayama are in the 8K range, and now we have Goddard and Minwoo and Scotty, 9K and above, I'm going to anchor around one of, I'll say this. 33% of my lineups will have Scotty in it. 33% of my lineups will have either Minwoo or Goddard in it. And 33% won't have any of them in it. That's kind of how I'm thinking about building my lineups this week. Already, just like right from the get-go. Because I just don't really trust. Sure, Minwoo's been playing good golf. And so has Goddard. And I guess maybe I'm going to change those percentages to be like 20% not play either of them. And then just round out maybe 40-40 or something like that. Like 20% Goddard, 20% Minwoo, 40% Scotty, and 20% none. The sweet spot for ownership, I've learned, is 41%. Like, don't go, if you're building mass lineups, don't go more than 41% on somebody. It is like, I when it comes down to analyzing salaries and salary constructions and stuff like that, I did this breakdown by myself, and this was one of my arguments with Chat GPT of all things. I said, well, 40% of the time it works this way. And then they told me, yeah, well, that means 60% it doesn't. And I just like laughed at myself. Because I play the percentages all the time, and I'm like, all right, touche, computer. You're smarter than me.
That's hilarious, dude.
It ended up coming down to being 40. I do 41%, but it could be anywhere between 37 to 42, I think.
Yeah, call it 40.
Yeah, so I think I will probably build my lineups like that, because I'm still a firm believer that Scheffler is the best golf. Well, obviously he is, but he's still the same golfer he's always been. There must be something just amiss, just something a little bit off. So, and I like this event for him to turn it around. This is a golf course that I wouldn't say is tailor-made, tongue-in-cheek, tailor-made for him. But like, you're not getting in trouble missing it far left or far right off the tee at this golf course. From memory. I'll say from memory. I could be wrong on that, but I can't be wrong on that. Min-Woo Lee won this last year.
And Steven Yeager the year before.
All over the place. Yeah.
Min-Woo Lee and Steven Yeager are the exact same person.
Yeah, fair. So yeah, I'm going to stand with it now. 40% of my lineups will have Scotty Scheffler in them. I'm cool with that.
Tony Finau, another boomer of the golf ball.
Right,
past winners. Yeah.
So, anyways, I think that's how I'm going to start at the top. And like I was talking about, I want to be selfish about this. I want Kitayama and Fowler. I want them in the 8K range, because I want to build lineups with Scotty and somebody in the 8K range. I want two of these guys. I want two of the golfers from this elite grouping. And I don't want just to play Scotty and then just not play the rest, because how my percentages are going to work is if 40% of my lineups have Scotty in them. If I'm not playing any of these guys, that means 40% of my lineups aren't going to have any of these guys in it. And I'm, I don't like that. Because although I'll limit myself to 20% Goddard and 20% Min-Woo, I don't want that to be the only exposures to the other golfers that I have, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, dude.
So I'm going to be selfish. I was hoping Fowler might be like a $7,600 golfer, but after we just talked and looking at the odds board, I'll be lucky if he's in the 8K range. But I would love if either him or Kitayama were 8,600, 8,800, because that's kind of the threshold of building lineups that you're going to be able to do anything with Scotty. Like, you won't be able to do anything with a 9K golfer and Scotty. Yeah.
Right.
So selfishly, I want to. But if you want to flip it the other way, I know Joanne watches this, and Joanne is one of those people who just like never Scotty, never Scotty until he turns it around. Yeah. Now you have a narrative that you can play two of these guys and feel absolutely comfortable playing two of these guys. That's how I then transition, like in my head, how to use this elite grouping.
Okay. I love it, dude. I love it. I don't think I'm going to play Scotty this week.
That's fine.
And then I think I'm just going to ram these other, and could do multiples of them, since you're not,
with this small of a group,
optimizer lets me do.
With this small of a group, I would never play more than three. Don't play more than three of these guys. Even if you can fit them in a salary and it looks juicy, like say you do have two 8K golfers and you can load up one of these 9, or maybe one of them's a 10K golfer, I wouldn't do that. Just play two at most. If you're not playing, I think that's the best way to say this, Byron. If you're not playing Scotty, just play two at most. That's it. Just two at most. Don't get cute. 3's probably not going to work out for you. And certainly 4 won't work out for you either.
Yeah, right. And for those of you that have no idea what we're talking about, these are the guys that we filtered on that are top 40 in recent form and top 40 in course history.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we've just researched to know that these are the people that are in there. Again, we've just discussed that some of the course history isn't even from the same course if you're dating back past 2020. So
these guys will, outside Fowler, all of these guys are just going to have it from
correct
the Memorial Park.
Yeah. Amen. Good observation there. All right. Let's move to a couple guys I did some screenshots and put some stuff together
Okay.
for. Shout out Brian Campbell again. Wrong image. Here is the guys in the field that lead 2026 distance, driving distance. I couldn't grab the data golf, tool that I usually query that I pull for my stuff, but I just used raw data from this year that doesn't include the Valspar, which I'm cool with because the Valspar's got weird driving distances anyway.
Yeah.
A couple names to appetize you with here: Jasper Svensson, Rasmus Højgaard, Isaiah Salinda, Nikolai Højgaard. I didn't realize Sudarshan Yalamaraju is a bomber. Is he
301's not a bomber though. Like that's
right. Okay, but in this field, oh, by the way, I've also filtered on people that gain strokes putting this year so far.
Okay.
On average. We will go the other way to the putters next. But these are the longest. It's filtered by longest to shortest drivers in the screenshot with positive putting in 2026. What are they putting on this week in Texas? They're putting on bent, right?
It is a overseed, and it's POA. POA Trivialis.
Overseed.
Yeah.
Which
I treat it as bent usually.
Yeah. Where this week at the Valspar, they were on Bermuda. At API, they were on Bermuda. It wasn't overseeded in the Florida swing.
It wasn't overseeded API, but it was overseeded at Valspar. They always oversee it with POA. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was the same surface, would you say?
Mm-hmm. And same as surface as Players Championship. That's the same grass.
Okay, cool. So you can lean into those putting stats a little bit if you're looking at that.
Yep.
Jake Knapp, you see, Jake Knapp ranking at a 300-yard driving average. They've played Pebble. They've played, players. You're not going to be mashing driver around there. So there's some, but they should show up here nicely. Where is Minwoo? Minwoo being all the way down here behind Ryan Fox is interesting. But Minwoo's been hitting a lot of mini drivers lately. So this Rasmus Nørgaard Peterson chap is driving me bananas right now.
My fitting that I had, we talked about mini drivers. I'm most likely getting a mini driver.
I'm interested myself.
Because I was hitting the guy I was talking to. I'm like, well, you don't really hit mini drivers off the deck, do you? He goes, yeah, it's just an oversized 3-wood. And I said, yeah. Oh. And he goes, you're probably going to hit a little low on the face, but they perform. So I was hitting it off the ground. I was hitting it off the ground. No, full rollout. Like they would carry 265 to 270, something like that. And then they'd roll out to 285, 290. Hit it off of a tee, went 301.
Yeah.
I'm like, geez, dude, that's crazy.
It's crazy what technology's done, dude.
Yeah.
To golf.
By the way,
Matty Schmidt. Sorry.
I'm gonna double check some. You give me. I'm a little late to the party here when it comes to this, but ball speed is the thing that I care the most when it comes to like this distance talk that we had. So just to kind of recap some of the names you've already said, Rasmus Højgaard leads with ball speed, like just on average 187. Yeah. That's insane. And twin brother, pretty much the same. Which you would assume,
they're
right?
Off by fractions. That's incredible. Yeah. Gary and Aldrich, both in the field, they're not even showing up here on my screen.
Okay.
Which is very interesting.
That is interesting. Well, that's what this is why I don't like the distance stats, because they cherry pick certain golf holes and you don't know what those golfers are actually doing off of the tee on those holes that they measure distance on.
Yeah. Aldrich's at 303. Oh, it's the putting. This is the thing. That's why
I see. I
don't have them on.
So you could keep your screen up and I can just, rattle off these. I mean, Jesper Svensson is only 1 mile an hour of ball speed behind Rasmus, but you have Jesper as the higher distance and Rasmus is just behind him by 3 yards. Like that's not a huge difference. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to figure out, are there discrepancies between your distance stat and the ball speed stat? So Yellow Miraju, His ball speed's 183, which is still pretty darn
That's
good.
pretty high. I
Yeah.
didn't realize he's that kind of a guy. What's
And
Marty
that's-
Doe? Zechung Doe.
Oh my God, Marty Doe can't hit it that far, right?
I know. This is interesting to me. I don't understand why he's in here, but maybe.
178.54. That's good.
Tour average is what? 173, 172?
Let me look. I have no idea what the average is. Looks like 174. 175. 174.78.
170. Dude, that is go to 2025 quickly and see what 2025's
What do you think? Is it going to be higher or lower?
lower. It's obviously getting higher and higher every year now. As people
174. It was 174.36 last year.
Okay.
2024 was 173.63.
So it's not more. It's not a full fraction.
You're right. It's going down by about 1 mile an hour each year. It is.
Yeah.
So it's been going down.
Technology, strength. It's
170 in 2020, and then it goes up to 171 in 2021, and it goes 172 to 2022. In 2024, it goes to 173. Sorry, I was gonna say it makes a jump, but it doesn't. Now in 2025, it was 174.36, and now it's 174.78. So yeah,
yeah. It's next year. It's going to be in the 175s for sure. Like that's just how we roll.
Makes me feel good about myself. I can get my ball speed up to 180, 178. So I'm feeling good.
But soon we're not going to be to average. You know
right.
what I'm saying? All right, so let's call it off here at 300. I'm not in the mood for Marty Doe at like once. Maybe whatever. Eric van Rooyen checks out. Matty Schmidt checks out. Long hitter Ricky Castillo, Ryan Fox, Manuli, Scotty Scheffler, all check out. Adam Scott as well checks out. Then we get to the point where if Chad Ramey is showing up in a distance metric, this is where we need to cut it off, because I don't think Chad Ramey's. I would say his ball speed's probably like 171.
173.
I guess. There we go. So not anything hectic. Now, putting, guys that the best putters in the field that gain over 200 and what am I doing here? 295 plus, just to see. Knapp, Carl Phillips, Dan Brown, Chandler Phillips. Might be a good week to play the Phillips boys.
The
V's and P's.
The
Get your V's and P's together with the Phillips and the Phillips. Then we can move. Chad Ramey, do not consider him as a long hitter of the golf ball, but Steven Yeager.
Hey, as much much stink as you're putting on Chad Ramey's name, at the Players Championship, he popped for me for whatever reason, and he performed pretty well at. So if your models actually point out as Chad Ramey being a decent play, I got no. In the past, I would have had an issue playing Chad Ramey just because it's difficult to play Chad Ramey. I'm going to say this. If somehow you get to Chad Ramey, he just pops like in your optimizers, go ahead and play one or two of those lineups and feel good about it. Or don't, don't.
I like him at like the Players and the Valspar, like not necessarily like Bombers Paradise. I don't know, whatever. Sony Opens.
This is one of those contrarian takes that I could try to implement into your process. So you take one Chad Ramey, and then the time that he hits, then boom,
I will guarantee you, in my 150 lineups this week, I will have one Chad Ramey just for you.
Thank you.
But like, if you're telling me Steven Yeager, yes, Steven Yeager. I mean, he's won here before.
And he played well this last week. Yeah.
And driver, like he can mash it anywhere he wants. Harris English, 295, but great putter. Nikolai is someone I'm in the mood for a lot. He's been playing fantastic until this week, which kind of sucked. I was on him a lot in Showdown. Kevin Roy showing up here. Jesper. Mathieu Pavon. What is Mathieu Pavon's ball speed? Because he is starting to trend.
175.
Yeah, middle of the pack. But good putter. Manuli, Rasmus, Ryan Fox, Eric Schmidt, all the guys. It's just basically the same people, but filtered the other way around.
Yeah.
I'm just realizing that now going through the names again. But, let me actually, I can pull up. This is my raw file. Yeah, let's get rid of everybody's things. These are the best drivers in the field. I'll put this. Oh, Jesus, I'm not going to show you guys this. This looks disgusting. We'll just get it off the screen. We could go back to your stuff, Darbo. Let's deep dive a couple guys for the next 20 minutes, and then we can try and get out of here. If we
Sure.
want.
What do
Or
we?
for the next 50 minutes? Who the hell knows? But we can shoot for 20 and keep going. By the way, if you're in the chat, now's the time to send your requests in to Darbo's chat. I'm sure he'll read them and pull them up, or here on Back9 Bets, and we'll deep dive them for you guys.
Yeah,
Shoot them
absolutely.
through. By the way, I bet Marco Penge already at 50-1, and now he's moved to like 38-1.
Dang.
Which is crazy. Like these Sunday odds are the time to get in, because that's when they're the best. It's you can get some real good values in that department.
I'm gonna have to look at this. I'm looking at the bucket system. What I found out is when there are events or years that an event didn't play, I have to point it out. That was another thing that I had to make updates to. I was telling you about a new tool that I was creating. Before I was creating that new tool, I had to make updates to the bucket system on the website, because when there's no years that a tournament's played, it counts those as zeros. So my minimums change. Like I'd want to see ones or twos or whatever. So I imagine 2023 is being picked up. It's counting 2023, and they didn't play in the year 2023. They went from 2022 fall to 2024 spring. So it's probably picking that up. What I was here, we'll do it this way. Success percentage, I think, is one of the best. I know we can deep dive golfer or any golfer. If anyone has it in chat, if you want to deep dive, we can. I'm just going to riff off of what has shown up inside the top 10 as a stat more often
Explain the frequency and success columns quickly.
Yeah, so success
okay. 2 sentences each.
So first of all, there are 6 stat categories. 6 of them. I can put this filter up and you can see the stat categories right here. Course history, recent form, last week, last year, salary, and strokes gain. Strokes gain is its own animal, and I will explain it if to whoever wants it, but I also have it on the website as an article you can read. If you go on to Fantasy Tools and you go to articles, you can go read about what that bucket is all about. And then there are 6 buckets in each of those stat categories. So I do a lot of different calculations within here. This is a big old summary of what these stats, like the successes for top 10s, optimal lineups, top 5s, top 20s. What the success rate shows is of all the golfers that were in, let's say, this 10K bucket. So if I scroll down on the page, one of the other things you can look at are golfers here. And I know it doesn't count the blanks, but it just filtering for whatever reason on Power BI is just going to always show the blanks. Yeah. But it is not counting the blanks. But here are all your 10K golfers. And so what that stat up here shows, of all 10K golfers, 35% of them finish inside the top 10. Now, 10K isn't a performance stat. It's just a ranking that DraftKings uses. So if it's not something you care about, we could look at recent form. So Byron, when it comes to recent form versus course history, what matters the most? It would appear recent form does.
We should have just started, Jan. We could have saved ourselves an 45 minutes of it.
It's good to I like eyeballing it, just, the raw stats.
You see names and things.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's your success percentage. And again, we can scroll down here. This little section that's called lead-in stats, results with lead-in bucket stats. You can look at a whole plethora of data points here, or information points. You can look at the bucket IDs, which are just basically the buckets that we were just talking about. It doesn't give you any stats. If you get confused by the stats and the buckets, you can just look at the buckets if you want. If you want to look at strokes gain stats, you can do that as well. But the raw stats will show you that everybody in this bucket is in that recent form of 1 to 20. So you can see 1 to 20. That's it. That's the criteria for recent form bucket 1. And again, we selected it here, the high success bucket. And if you want to look at all the golfers that were in here, especially if you want to sort by finishing position from top to bottom, you can go ahead and see. We only had Lonto Griffin. He's the only golfer from this bucket to win the tournament, and that was in 2019. So now you can actually check whatever you want. You can select the years you want to look at, if there's a particular golfer, whatever, you know.
Let's go. This is so sick, man.
But yeah, and then you can see all the golfers that missed the cut too. So Jordan Spieth, who was 12,000, like these are data points I like to look at with pricing. Is like, are the favorites any good at this event that have good recent form? This is one golfer. You know, if I wanted
2017.
I could change the salary range here to be 10,000 and above. And now we're only looking at the $10,000 golfers. And so you can see, oh, well, you know what? These $10,000 golfers that have really good recent form actually do perform well. It was just Jordan Spieth was a loser in 2017 and just didn't get it done.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are different filters that you can do.
Love that.
The frequency number here, this number will get updated because it's counting a year that this tournament wasn't played. So it's this number is off. But if I were to just select into frequency, or actually I don't even have to look into that frequency, and I scroll all the way down to the bottom, we're only looking at this bucket. Here are your top 10 counts. So 2, 1, look at that, 2023, 0. Well, that was a year that this tournament wasn't played, you know, so
0. So
that is bringing down that frequency, and there are different meanings for frequency. The frequency for my stuff means every single year was there at least one. That's what my frequency means.
Threshold frequency.
Yeah, at least one golfer that represents this bucket inside the top 10. Obviously, I'm looking at top 10, but if you want to look at top 5s, we can see how many of them finish inside the top 5. And then if you deselect all of the buttons, you can see the totals for each of the, for each of the years that golfers fit into that bucket. So this will help you understand, okay, so in 2025, there were 4. Well, how many finished inside the top 10? 2, 50%. 50% of the golfers did. And you can do that for every year. 2024, there were 3, and there was only 1 that showed up inside the top 10. In 2022, there was 7. Look at 10, only 1. Well, now what we could do is just drill down into that bucket, and it just released the other filter I had. But now we're filtered in that bucket. What were the golfers in that bucket? We can scroll up and see who the golfers were. That, why did this bucket fail to produce a top 10? Well, not so much to produce a top 10, but this bucket had a lot of golfers in it compared to other years where there was more success. What happened to this year? And we can look at all the golfers and come up with our own conclusions. We can see we got, everybody made the cut. Sam Burns withdrew. And he obviously was playing really bad that year. We already looked at this year and saw that he shot a 77 in round 1 and probably had, the same water neck that Brian Campbell had. Of this last week, Valspar.
Water neck, dude. I love that phrase. That's going to be patented on this. Have you used that before?
No, I just came up with it on the spot.
It's such a random diss.
Well, because he went in the water so much and then he cited a neck injury, right?
Yeah,
that's what it was.
That. No, I'm with you. I was like, it's just such a random phrase.
So yeah,
all right.
You can come to this page and sort by whatever you'd like. I'm going to hit the little eraser button, gets rid of all the filters that I had put on. And again, for me, I don't mind going here and looking at the success rates and just seeing which stats, matter, and just keeping an eyeball on this. I don't have cross, filtering. So last year ones, 16%, nearly 100% frequency. Well, go back to the cheat sheet. I'm in next week, but we can go into this bucket and look at last year ones. That's what I just mentioned was last year ones. Here are all the golfers that finished inside the top 20 last year, which was a boatload of them. Holy crap. 21 golfers returning from last year's event that finished top 20 last year, coming to this year's event.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
I don't have projections on the website yet for each bucket. But what you could do is go back to the bucket system and you could use, so we're looking at last year ones right here. We've never seen more than 4 inside the top 10. We've never seen more than 3 in the optimal lineup. We've never seen more than 3 in the top 5. So, 4 is kind of the max that I would do. So I'd come back to the cheat sheet And look, what 4 golfers do we want to put in our lineups? Well, I can guarantee you Scotty Scheffler is going to finish inside the top 10. I'm just going to throw it out there right now. He's going to finish inside the top 10. Guarantee. I don't know if you can.
This is a beer bet. I think Scotty's going to finish outside the top 10 this week.
Okay. We can beer bet this for sure.
Okay.
But if,
he's
and here's this is a perfect example. So you think he's not going to. So that the numbers that I just showed with the bucket system, this is 0 to 4, 0 to 3, put it somewhere in there. If you don't think Scotty Scheffler is going to be one of the guys that represents a success in any of these stats, whether it's top 10, optimal lineup, top 5, top 20 or whatever, then you disregard his name. And then you start with Goddard up down. Don't play more than 4 of these guys. This is my big thing. This is what I have seen. Yeah, in the same lineup. Thank you for pointing that out. This is what I've seen. It's like people get enamored, like they can put a lineup together with 6 of the best course history guys. Like, why wouldn't I? These guys play well here all the time. Well, history shows that's just not going to work out. And that's what the
optimal lineup.
Well, yes, but top 10s. I mean, if you're going to win a GPP, again, this goes, hand in hand with everything that I do on Sweet Spot DFS, whether it's the YouTube channel or whatever. I'm looking at what's going to win you a GPP, when I review and analyze every lineup, most of the lineups have top 10s, all of their golfers are inside the top 10. So this is kind of how and if you want to use top 20s, then go for it. But who knows if you can even build a lineup with that. Yeah. You kind of gotta piece it together and just look, not everybody here is going to finish inside the top 20, only half of these guys are, unless there's a tie for 10th place or whatever, 9th place, 8th place that goes into 20 golfers, half of these dudes are going to finish inside the top 10 at most. But that's also probably not going to happen because you never see that happening at this event. So anyways, I think a max of 4 in one lineup is your starting point. I'd almost make an argument you only want to do 3. Anytime I see Scotty Scheffler in a bucket, I automatically reduce the numbers by 1. Automatically.
Yeah. Okay. Good number. Yeah.
Because he's kind of the dude that AJ Love, whenever he comes into my channel, he goes, we need a Scotty Scheffler button to make these updates. And it's because I don't make those updates with Scotty in the bucket just because that's too much work, to do that kind of stuff. So this is what's helpful with building lineups, just like that elite group. Well, guess what? Goddard fits that elite group, right? Hey, so does Minwoo Lee. There's 2 of your guys. You can ignore the rest of these golfers if those are your 2 guys. Maybe you want to pick one more, go for it. But now you can build lineups elsewhere.
Yeah, I like that.
Does that? I like it because it restricts you from putting too many of the same golfer in your lineup or just building bad lineups. But at first glance, does it make you feel like, oh God, there's too many names that I like here. I don't want to ignore all of them.
Not necessarily. Like Mackenzie Hughes, Eric Cole, Rico, Wyndham, Pendrith, Sam Stevens.
I think is a good fit for this course.
Yes. I guess I was forgetting, just thinking about how they've played this year.
Yeah.
So far, not thrilled about them, but again, I'm sure they fit into some other I guess this is recent form. This is last year.
Yeah, just the last year bucket that we're looking at.
Yeah.
Well, that's because the bucket system, we were looking at last year ones. But if you did want to do some kind of combo and let's look at the recent form, this will allow you to sort by recent form.
Boom. There we go. And I think Ryan Fox could very much, he just missed out on that course history box. I think he's a great course fit as well, given You know that he can bench press the most on the
Yes.
PGA Tour?
Yeah, I heard. It's
Such a
not like
dad
a
strength
super
guy.
impressive number what his bench press is, but it's also like for a golfer, it's like, okay, that actually is that's ridiculous. It's in the 300s. It's 300
Yeah.
something.
I'm assuming there's a cutoff amount that golfers want to bench press anyway, because you need flexibility, and being able to bench press a lot of weight, you need lots of muscles. You know, like muscles get in the way.
I just got reminded of his goofy ass golf swing. Do you see his feet are pointed like this?
He's a quacker. Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. That's how I stand. It's easy on the knees.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I understand. It's so funny though.
It doesn't provide you with a lot of torque though, right? Because the square feet give you more tension, but tension goes to the joints, dude.
I know.
And they can hurt, you know, like anyway. Let's take a look. Adam Scott. Let's dive into Adam Scott. Let's take a look at some lead-in. Let's take a look at some like off the tee numbers, just some lead-in form coming in, and see some names that we like.
It's unfortunate is I can't put. Oh, that's right. I was going to make that update here. My bad. Not under tournament. I don't want to look at Adam Scott there.
Why don't you use the one that's available to you on the screen without having to click the 1, 2, 3 like that?
So I don't. Long story short, my players table isn't fully updated, so I don't have everything linked to it. This golfer name is based off of my table for this week.
Okay.
So this week has its own player names in it that don't connect to anything.
Okay.
But yeah, cool. if I were to select a name here or here, then it would sort by that, and it will be updated in time. Yeah,
whatever.
But here's Adam Scott. Do we want to look at a year's worth of data?
I don't care. I think whatever, just like his more recent stuff, like
So this is
he nukes it off the tee. You know, like I think. If you're looking at the Farmers Insurance Open and seeing him hitting a 312 there, that's all you need to know about distance, because that's where you just nuke it. You know, that's drivers all day.
I imagine he lost some strokes off the tee here. 42% driving accuracy, but also 292. So he was clubbing down more than usual.
So this driving distance is your total. It's just those couple of holes that they measure it for.
It's whatever Data Golf does, whatever Data Golf provides. I don't remember how they do. I think driving accuracy is just based off of fairways hit. That's it.
Well, yes, but distance
is always going to be just like a couple holes.
Par fives. You know, there might be 1 or 2 par fives that you didn't even hit driver, like on.
And it could be a par 4 that's just straight away. That I think how the PGA Tour is going to do it is if they know golfers are going to be hitting drivers most of the time, they're going to use those holes.
Yeah.
Like hole number 2 at the Players, they probably wouldn't because it doglegs left. And like some golfers are going to hit 3 woods because that's their way of shaping shots.
Maybe 9, you know, but 9 was playing into the headwind for some of those days, you know, like
that's going to screw up numbers.
So, okay. But Adam Scott, the Genesis Invitational, that's like he's like only place he like can really top. Is he going to top 10 for you this week? Look at, I mean, he makes. What does his putting look like right now? Is he putting well?
Where is Adam Scott, by the way? I don't even know.
Because he's playing consistent golf. Filter by name.
Oh, he's right here.
Yeah.
Well,
course history. Interesting.
Yeah.
He's in good form. But I would rather prefer like an Adam Scott top 40, but he's 38-1. So I don't think we're going to get like an even money top 40 on him. But I think
50.
You know, I just had to undo my jeans. 2.5 hours into the show.
So he
These are
really
my fat
hasn't
jeans.
played this event since they changed. Definitely not in the springtime.
And that would not be a good for him. That course fit in 2021, 2020. He's inaccurate off the tee. You know, like this now he can just Adam Scott can get into the mid 180s in ball speed at the ripe old age of 46 or whatever he is. You know, that makes a lot of sense for what he does. What does his putting stats look like this year? Because I think he's putting better as well.
Well, the players was awful apparently altogether. That okay. This is be worth looking into because if he made the cut, obviously he made the cut. He finished T56. To have this bad of stats, that means something happened round 3, round 4. Like, and who knows? Is he pushing the envelope, trying to win the event? Is he trying to whatever? And then when that happens, bad things can happen. I don't know. Yeah, I guess Arnold Palmer API. This is a great outside of off the tee. This is a great stat, profile. Positive approach and positive putting, in my opinion. If ball striking is in the positive, it's greater than 0. So off the tee plus approach. If that's greater than 0 and putting is also a positive, that's a great week of golf. Great week of golf.
Yeah.
And obviously he finished 11th, and then he did the exact same thing at the Genesis. Farmers was a bit negative, but look at the ball striking was crazy.
Yeah. If I pull up Adam Scott's easy scoring, because do you think the scoring average is going to be per round -1.5 or
Probably
easier?
Yeah.
Way into the -20s is going to be the winner this week. So Adam Scott, he actually ranks quite nicely. It's gains over a stroke per round on easy scoring conditions, which means you can usually whip your driver around there a little inaccurately on easy venues,
I've never really thought that Adam Scott was a good golfer on easy courses. I always thought he was a good golfer on hard golf courses, but
I
if
think
the stats
he's morphed. I would love to see Adam Scott's ball speed over the years because it's probably improved by 10 miles per hour in the last 3 years. Because he's got strong, athletically for golf over the last little while. So it's what?
Do I only really want to look at 2024 and beyond because it's the spring?
Yeah.
Well, let me do this first because last year seemed like an anomaly. What happened last year? The strength of field was higher. The strength of field is very similar, by the way. That's the other thing about looking at my cheat sheet. When you go to next week, you click next week, you can see what the estimated strength of field is going to be. So 405 is good. Tournament stats. So -20 last year. Was there anything that happened in particular last year? I think I have turf grass length up here. So fairways 0.4, rough was 1.25. Well, that's low. Same in 2024. That is not even rough. 2022 was 2.5 inches.
Yeah.
So 2024 they bumped it down to 1.25, and it looks like the same in 2025. So that was okay. Well, what were who were all the golfers in 2023? Right? Wasn't that oh my God, my short-term memory. Holy crap, it's so bad.
I would imagine that they do the same rough length again, where it's going to be 1.25.
So yeah, 2024, 2025. Okay, so 2024, if I went back to the tournament stats and we look at 2024, the score was it was difficult. It was 12 under and the cut score was 1 over. What changed if the rough length was the same from 2024 to 2025?
I wonder if it
wind. Was it wind?
And I can't remember how windy it was then. I think it might have. Yes, I vividly remember watching those guys try play hole number 10 or one of the early holes on one of the 9s where they were hitting driver 3-wood into a par 4, driver 3-wood into that wind. there's not a single par four that guys would be hitting driver 3 wood in calm conditions that, nowadays. So I'm almost certain that the wind was ridiculous then. If we're taking a look at the wind this week coming up, the Thursday weather looks like it's not going to get much more than 11 miles an hour late in the day, 85 degrees on Thursday, 87 degrees on Friday, with the wind not exceeding like 6 to 7 miles per hour. Then Saturday is going to be maximum like 11 miles per hour, and that's going to be in the morning. And then Sunday, 10 miles per hour. Tuesday and Wednesday of the following week get into like the 15 mile per hours with 30 mile per hour gusts.
So we can anticipate this is going to be another easy scoring.
I think it's an easy scoring week coming up.
Okay.
I don't know what the precipitation has been like in Houston over the last little while, because obviously the firmness of a course can also change. But I think, given the cut of the grass.
Oh my God. The PGA Tour used to actually keep track of like what your average mile per hour was like on each of the days. I have no idea what happened with that.
I can actually just put it up, but it's going to take a minute. But I remember that it was windy.
Okay.
So I'm not.
So then
worry.
we can anticipate easy scoring, like you were mentioning. I really just truly wanted to know if it was going to be easy scoring or not, because I just remember this is a golf course that Brooks Koepka helped renovate, right?
Yeah. Where the hell? Yeah, he did. He did help renovate this. Where the hell's the weather? Oh, you just look at the media website?
Oh, I could use the media website. Oh, good call.
I am on it. I'm on it, and there's no weather. Yeah, there's no weather yet. Usually they have the weather.
It usually does, yeah.
Pieces of crap. But oh, here's the weather. It's on the other side. It's all at the bottom. All right. Weather for Thursday in 2024. Yeah. Weather for Thursday. Winds calm.
Very low.
Calm and collected on winds on Thursday. We go to Friday. This is also projections. It's not the actual weather that happened.
They do it the morning of, I'm pretty sure.
Right, but weathermen it's the easiest job in the world.
Yeah, that's true.
10 a.m. From Thursday, it was windy on Friday, like 10 miles per hour with gusts into the 20s, like well into the 20s on that Friday. And then if we go to Saturday, again, 8 to 15, 10 to 15, 12 to 16 gusts. So windier than we're going to expect again this week. Then back
I didn't even look at the on temps.
I mean, 70s. This is normal temps on Sunday. But again, Sunday was 10 plus, whereas I think this week we're going to expect, I'm not going to be at the bottom here. We can look at Thursday. You're not seeing much more than 11 way in the afternoon, 8 way in the afternoon, 10 mid-morning, 9 on Sunday. Like, I think it's going to be in the 5 to 10 range, which we're not seeing a lot of right now. Kind of fun. I love checking the aerial views of this stuff too. Look at this course. It's just like a clump of holes in the middle of nowhere. In a park, like.
You know what's funny is doing like windfinder.com or windy.com or whatever weather that you're trying to get wind from, and finding the golf courses. Like if you don't Google map it or whatever, and you try to look for it yourself, like that it's in Houston. Okay, I'm gonna go to Houston, and you start zooming in and where you think it is. I mean, they give you the suburb that it's actually being played in, and then you just zoom in and you'll see there's tons of golf courses all over the place, or there are golf courses in places you didn't think there were. It's it's kind of cool to look at every once in a while, just to be like, yeah, I remember being in that city and I don't remember ever seeing a golf course, but there were 20 around the area that I was at. Like, how is that possible?
Houston's a marvelous place, man. Houston's a marvelous place. I'm actually going to pull my crap up one more time. Let's do, just to see, like, if you're looking for like some spike rounds, blah blah blah. Here are the guys that have had the best rounds around Memorial Park. Tony Finau opened up. I mean, Buddy is a showdown fiend. If you're looking for him at Memorial Park, makes tons of sense. I think I'm going to be betting him this week as well. I haven't really done much of my betting stuff for you guys, so we can kind of. Tony Finau is. I thought I had him clicked earlier, but we got too many names going on. 72-1. I fancy that a lot, actually, because Tony's putter is better again. You know, since moving to the mallet with the nice aiming lines, he's putting better again.
Mm-hmm.
And we know what he does around here, just ball striking wise. So that makes too much sense. I'm not interested in Adam Schenk's only good round was gaining 7.2 strokes. Yeah, the rest of it was 0.3 and below. That sums up Adam Schenk's career.
One trick pony.
Yeah, he's incredible. But I respect the man. Bermuda champ. Patrick Rogers hasn't done much here since it's
I don't mind Patrick Rogers. There's something. Hold on. I just was about to say something, and I'm like, I feel like everybody has said this at one point in time about Patrick Rogers, but I feel like his years, like he's gonna get really close to winning a tournament. that's awesome, JP Del Frio.
Guys like Nick Dunlap. This might be not a terrible venue for Nick Dunlap.
Oof. Yeah, I mean,
as bad of a driver as he is, I mean, he was bad here. He missed the cut in 2025, but he missed it by one stroke. So, you know, if you're looking for weird dudes, he's one of Gary Woodland. he's solid around here, very good. And I wonder, he just played really well at the Valspar as well. I think he had his first top 10 there in forever. Aaron Rai was this 2021, 2022 was Aaron Rai season for this golf course. Fine fairways, you know, avoid making bogeys.
Byron.
Yes.
Nick Dunlap. I'm looking up his strokes. I just wanted to see off the tee stats of 2025 just to see when it comes to the tournament, like, you know,
yeah.
Because how stats get adjusted is like if everyone was hitting similar off the tee stats, you wouldn't really see huge negative stats when it comes to off the tee. Minus 6.8 for Nick Dunlap is atrocious.
He hit 7 fairways of the 28, maybe 8.
27%.
Yeah. That is bad. That's like me with our golf trip hangover situation, blasting everything a million yards right.
Was he the lowest with driving accuracy? Yes, he was.
Oh yeah, dude. If you are in the 27s, if you're in the 20s at driving accuracy, that's no good.
And
what is he looking like lately?
I was just gonna say, I don't think he's much better, man. I
don't think so either.
Like there was some. He had like one week, yeah, right here, the Worldwide Technology Championship, where I was like, oh, is this guy back? And then no, he's not.
The Worldwide Technology Champion's got runways for fairways. It's like the widest fairways in the world.
The American Express had runways for fairways, not as much as the Worldwide, but it was wide open. You know, he's hitting other fairways on other holes at the American Express.
Yeah. But I think it's got to do with expectations. You know, like if you have wide ass fairways, you don't feel like you have to hit the fairway because it's easy.
Oh my God, it's
what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, 94.7% for his driving accuracy at the Worldwide.
It's fake news.
Fake
news as it comes. And the Black Desert as well, 67 back-to-back weeks where he just was like well over 50 because Black D was also wide open. You know,
I mean, for someone,
if you miss.
Wasn't his big thing that he was talking about why his accuracy is bad is because he was trying to get more speed? Or am I making things up? I thought he was trying to get more speed, and this would indicate. Now, if you go offline, it's difficult to, you know, find distance going forward. Like, your curve left and right, it might be 320 yards of total distance, but it's only going 280 forward and 60 yards to the right. Like it. So maybe that's why his driving distance is so poor. Like it's a misnomer. Like we're kind of getting tricked into thinking he doesn't hit the ball far, but it's still like these numbers are awful.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
All of it's awful.
All of it's bad.
And when he was positive on approach or on off the tee, he was so negative on approach.
We're saying positive off the tee is like -1.5 strokes lost as well still.
Compared relative to what he had been doing. Yeah.
And he bitched out with a water neck as well at the Amex.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the American Express of all places, desert, where there's like no
Defending
water.
champ.
I know there's water at that course, but like, yeah. Oh my God, no, that's where
the
you got
only data
dry
that
neck.
they'll have here though is the stadium course for Amex though.
That's right.
They don't
That's
have
true.
ShotLink on the other.
That's
two,
true.
Which
That's true.
would be better for him actually.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. So
not good.
No to Nick Dunlap.
No to Nick Dunlap.
I don't even know what.
Fair.
Oh, you mentioned his name, and I was looking for stats from 2025 Houston. I just wanted to see after the stats get adjusted, is off the tee like an actual stat that we really want to look at?
Not good at all.
Yeah, actually, it off the tee. I mean, this was at that tournament, by the way. So this is what happened last year, and this includes when it was like the stats are adjusted. It would show that off the tee at this course wasn't as important. Just eyeballing it, because there are far more negatives than there are positives. But I guess everybody who finished, I mean, Minwoo finished first, and he was negative off the tee.
He hit 42% of his fairways. Though.
I know.
At 315 yards a pop.
Yeah.
Which, if you take a look at the top of the board, yeah, I think
everybody else is positive too, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. And that comes with, what is the worst driving distance over there? There's like two people that are in the less than 300.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's
like
barely
high up on the board.
295 is the low, or 292. Ryan Gerard, 292.
He's probably changed that a little bit too. And then Sammy Valimaki and Scotty Scheffler. Scotty, we could see him ripping a couple 185s out yet this week. You know, like that'll be fun to see. Let's filter on some easy and hard scoring quickly, and then we can get the hell out of here. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
What I hate about the tabs get bigger as you zoom in on Google Docs.
Oh,
like,
God.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is that the situation here? All right. Course difficulty. Yeah, we go. We're on it. All right. So Scotty on easy. He does his thing. Johnny Kiefer. This is KFT. Rasmus KFT. Neil Shipley KFT. Rasmus Niergaard Peterson is a complete statfish, mother bitch. I mean, I've lost so much money on this guy. Dude, it's driven me insane. Anyway, Garrick plays nicely on easy. He's playing like complete crap. Is Shane playing this week?
That's what he's in my field, or he's.
Where the hell is he? Oh, whoa, he's way down here over here. Interesting. Okay. Minwoo, obviously easy. It's like that's his jam. You know, when you can miss fairway. Would you say easiness and hitting fairways correlate? Well,
yeah.
Penalty for missing fairways correlate.
Both. I mean, if there wasn't a big penalty for missing fairways, it's an easy. I would say it's an easy golf course unless, you know, the greens were extremely firm.
Whatever, you know,
yeah.
So you can kind of imagine inaccuracy, guys with tons of distance at easy courses. That's where they can get away with this stuff, as we mentioned already. Shout out to the Glacier. Adrian Demont Deschart was called by one of the announcers. His pace of play was glacial at best, which is such a burn. You know, that is just getting your balls kicked in.
Yeah. But
Nikolai makes a lot of sense to me. Adam Scott makes some sense. I'm out on Ben Griffin. I mean, what the hell is this guy doing? Rasmus. Kensei Harata shows up randomly on easy courses a lot.
You know,
my favorite way to go through this is like seeing the bad ones next to the good ones, because then you're getting some sneaky opportunity on these.
I think
guys.
before you write him off completely, or before you Ben Griffin, I think this is actually a really good bounce back opportunity for Ben Griffin.
Okay, if you say so. Can't do it with this. I drafted so much of him in best ball, and I needed him to beat Mayo because Mayo's in one of my 100, like my 100. I hate
your face right there after I said that was just like, dude, come on.
Can't stand it. Knapp, but not his best strength. You know, we're starting to get to where it's not their best number. Max McGreevy, check him out because he doesn't gain much more than half a stroke anywhere else. Sneaky option. Ricky likes some easy scoring conditions as well. Max Griesemann likes that. Ricky Castillo. Lots of Ricky likes these places. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm starting to check out as well, Darbo. So
you made me want to look at my my best ball. I had Matt Fitzpatrick in both of my lineups that advanced. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice. Good
I'm
you.
first, and the two that I advanced into because of the I think I had 6. I had 6 total. 2 of them advanced of best balls, and the 2 that did advance both have Matt Fitzpatrick in them. Yeah, one of them I have a commanding lead or a pretty big lead, 1304 to 1201. So that makes me feel good. But yeah. Anyways,
let's go, dude.
Let's go. Share my screen just briefly, and then we can ride out into the sunset.
To the nightfall.
What's that? I know it is nightfall. I know. I'm just talking about,
figuratively.
Yeah.
I'm taking figurative things literally now. That's how late it is. It's 11:15, Darbo.
Just a second. So strokes gained 1 was a bucket. This is a performative bucket. This is where all the stats are positive. Off the tee approach, around the green and putting, and it's all of them. Heading into this event for the last 365 days, 1 full year's worth of data, their lead-in data heading into the event is the 3rd highest successful bucket to look at. It says 75% frequency, but I bet you that's probably 80 or well, it could be 100. Oh, it's probably 5 out of. It's probably 5 out of 6 or 7 out of 8. 7 out of 8. Yeah, maybe. I don't remember. Whatever.
Whatever. So
this bucket, if we look, just looking at all the past ones, if I looked at all the totals, 9, 5, 7, 7, 9, 5, 12. It's so 2018. And if we look at all the top 10 counts, so there would be 1 year where it'd be 0, but every other year there's been at least 2 golfers from this bucket to finish inside the top 10. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total years. So it'd be 6 out of 7. So that's going to be 88%, 84%, something like that. Here are your golfers that follow into that strokes gain 1 bucket. I put it on the filter, strokes gain 1. Just it doubles down on Scotty and Chris Gotterup. But now we're including Ben Griffin, Ryan Fox, Pendrith, and Castillo.
Ben Griffin's that data is all 2025 stuff.
But that's how. Okay, this is if we were to rewind back in the stream and we talk about
where you're going with this, yes. But I've got a problem with this guy. He's burned me. But when someone's stuff goes backwards and it's because he got married with monkeys, like nearby.
Wait, he got married to monkeys or 4 monkeys with monkeys?
He could have gone home with monkeys. I don't know.
He probably did go home with monkeys.
There were flamingos involved as well, which shout out flamingos.
Yeah. I guess we could look at his last 7 weeks and you can see super negative off the tee. And of all these golfers, if we go by strokes gained total, he's at the bottom.
Yeah.
All off the tee. I don't know if that's because of accuracy or what have you, but yeah, it doesn't look good.
His ball striking in general is just plateaued, or not plateaued, it's cratered.
Yeah, I guess if I'm trying to shine up a turd here, I would say this: he's never been super positive off the tee, pretty much flat. Approach obviously has been better in the past, and then if we look at this year, Ben Griffin, super negative. Everything went down by like 0.5 strokes almost. Like for ball striking, I should say, both off the tee and approach. Dude, so yeah, I guess, I mean, if I'm looking at, and this is the last 7 weeks, by the way, of strokes gain data, it doesn't look good.
No. And the crazy thing is, I wasn't concerned because he literally won in Mexico.
Yeah.
Not that, like.
Did he get married right after that?
Yeah. He got married in the Bahamas.
That's right. Yeah.
After the Euro. Because he wasn't supposed. Him making it to the Euro just completely derailed his entire 2026 season.
He kind of does look like the type of guy that gets completely controlled by his wife. We got another Lucas Glover situation.
Total control freak.
Yeah, we got another Lucas Glover situation.
Oh my God.
And with that, the podcast is over.
Yeah, I think it's time. It's time. Just wallow on my own about Ben Griffin.
He's in a bucket. He's in a bucket that you might want to play from. You might.
I'll take the other guys.
Yeah, that's fine. Goddard's looking real good if it's not Scotty this week, by the way.
Yeah, he is. And Minwoo. But is like Minwoo good when it like matters? Like he was terrible at the Players, man. Like I'm basing it off of one round. Because I had him as my one and done. I had JT as my one and done last week as well.
I forgot to put a one and done in last week.
So JT kicked your guy's ass by like $30,000.
I was gonna say $60,000. Yeah.
So isn't that crazy? Just has a very bad week and makes 60K.
Yeah, I would have put Bridgman. Bridgman was gonna be my selection, and I woke up Thursday morning going, "Oh, son of a." Oh, because I spent a long time building lineups Wednesday night, and I was just tired. I was done building lineups. I'm going to bed. I totally forgot, but whatever. It is what it is.
I have never not entered a one and done. Like,
really?
I usually miss one at some point. Like that's why I like hate them, is because consistency is like my weakness. But with the text messages that you get from fantasy chat, like the moment I get the message, I go and do it like immediately. That way it's just
I should always put a placeholder in. That's what I've always learned in other ones. Just put a placeholder in, because if you do forget, at least you have somebody there. And like if you don't put a name in, you're just not going to make money regardless.
Zero.
That's a good reminder, Byron. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I've been awful on one and done. So bad.
Yeah. I am like a couple more bad weeks from just stopping betting outrights. Like the last outright I hit was Aldrich at the Rocket. Think about how like that was months, like over half a year ago. And the previous outright I hit before that was the John Deere Classic, which was a full year minus a week.
Yeah.
Because if I'd never hit Aldrich at the Rocket, it would have been the John Deere Classic again, where I would have had to have hit my next one a year later. Trying to hit a winner once every 2 months, dude.
So what do they typically like? I think I've heard Pat Mayo say this before, where it's like, 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks, and it's like 2 or 3 weeks pays for the whole year, right? Like, so you just need the 2 or 3 weeks of being hot or lucky or whatever you want to call it, in order to make up your whole year.
I would say it's you have to hit at least 6 winners in a year.
6 winners.
Yeah, maybe 5. Because if you're betting, say, 1 unit to win 10, you need to hit a winner every 10 weeks.
Yeah.
If you're betting 1 unit to win 7, or if you're betting 1.5 units to win 10, you need to hit like once every 6 or 7. Like
if you hit somebody at 100 to 1, would that pay for a whole year?
No, because it depends how you bet. Because how I bet, I don't bet less than 1/10 of a unit. So if you're like 1/10 of a unit for me on Toasty is $5
Right.
at 750 to 1. So like
Yeah.
that is a 75 unit return if he cashes that. Whereas Aldrich, if I'm betting him at 140, it's only one like 14 units. Most other guys I'm betting to win 10. So I cap it at 10 unless you are well into the hundreds. Then I want to take advantage of those like ridiculous odds.
So then would it be, yeah, I guess never mind. I'd have to understand how everybody bets. I was just thinking
It's a preference thing. Some
Yeah.
people bet heavy that they almost have to hit once every month,
Yeah.
to kind of break even. Then
I
you
was
need to hit
thinking-
another one to like get up.
I was thinking maybe it was the long shot betters, like those that kind of only bet long shots or whatever. They only have to hit once or twice a year in order to pay off everything or whatever.
If you're betting the same amount for some weird reason on outrights, which is hard to do. I mean, Scotty's like 3 to 1. You're not going to be betting the same on Brian Campbell as you are Scotty.
Right.
But I'm assuming some people still, if they see like ridiculous odds like this, they'll like still bet enough versus trying to just win the 10 units. They'll probably win 30. Then if you're winning 30 units, you only have to hit like 2 or 3, so.
Okay. Thank you for that educational lesson there.
Just
For
to
all
get
of
us
us.
over the 3-hour mark.
Yes. That was the whole, I didn't even know we were at 3 hours. That's crazy.
We were at 3 hours. I know this is where it goes all the time. We shoot for 2, get 3. That's our 3 birds with 2 stones, or 2 stones, 3 birds, 3 stones for 2 birds.
Something like that.
Something like that. On that note, we love you all. Don't forget
Yeah.
to hit the like, hit the subscribe, tell your aunties, uncles, grandmas all about us, ex-girlfriends included. We don't hate on here. Go
No,
and
screw
check
them.
both our streams out. Don't discriminate against exes. And we'll catch you guys next week. We'll be previewing the Valspar, the Valero,
The other Val.
Valero.
The other Val
I
tournament.
get Valspar and Valero wrong all the time. And then the week after that, it's the Masters, baby.
Oh,
So-
I will say this. I will have a button on my cheat sheet. Usually it says this week, next week. I will have a Masters button on there by the end of this week. So you'll be able to do your whatever research you want to look at. You'll see the field. The salaries are out already on DraftKings. So, I mean, shoot, man, you and I could start talking about the Masters at any point in time. And
That's what I was thinking.
yeah,
Is maybe we can. I need to get out of March so I can have some drinks with you again.
yeah, dude.
So we can maybe like we do it on. We don't have to discuss this, or maybe because people will need to know when they need to tune in. So Friday the 3rd, we can do it on like a Friday night
April, talking about?
on the 3rd of April.
Yeah,
When is the Masters? Is it
the 9th.
So we'd get 2 days ahead of schedule. We can do. See, the thing is, Wednesday the 1st is month end for me, so the 2nd would be like a.
Ooh. Well, hey,
But
man, once
You're
you
also
get
not
done
going
with
to get
month
blackout
end,
drunk on the
Ooh.
show.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we will. Who knows? We go
I'm
for 3
open,
hours.
dude. You
That's a
let me
lot of-
know.
That's a lot of beers.
you let me know. I'll be there.
Let's do Friday the 3rd. That way we don't have to do it on the Sunday.
Okay.
Or we can go on the Sunday again. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll keep in touch. I'll have that. I'll also have a new tool that, you know, how the cheat sheet looks at lead-in stats for the last, just for this tournament. It'll have historic events. So every tournament we can look at lead-in data. It'll be its own little page. So like the little
Nice.
spreadsheeting stuff that we've been doing, we won't have to do that anymore.
Go, baby.
Yeah.
We're gonna be.
I'm already in the process of working it out. I was telling Byron earlier that ChatGPT told me that I should try to figure it out through formulas, and then I was working with ChatGPT. It could not figure it out, and I'm not going to figure it out if ChatGPT can't. So I asked ChatGPT, shouldn't I just put this in a table? And it agreed with me, and so I will do that. That's not difficult to do. That's just me putting in the right formulas and then copying and pasting that into values, and bada bing, bada boom. I've got my new table with my data, and that just boom, I can put it right up on the on the website. So
Boom. Let's go. I love it.
so exciting things.
JP Del Frito, by the way, MVP of tonight's stream.
Oh yeah.
In my chat, at least, which is
My
like
chat
one
died
scroll.
down like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, I have to scroll once. Like it's half a scroll bar left only at the bottom there. Not even. You guys were actually pathetic tonight. You know, pathetic chat.
Yeah, who's in my chat
Better-
still?
you
You better tell me. I got 6 viewers. Six viewers.
I've
and
got 6 viewers. Well,
no
we got
chats. Maybe they're the same dudes.
So we got 12 total viewers. Maybe we got the 6 people doing this double dip.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this afterwards, comment below. You know, we got to outshine the chat. The live chat needs to get beat by the post chat.
Yep.
All right, friends, I'm going to end it right now. We love you.
Yes.
Bye.